here on stream is Butthole.
You're welcome.
What's up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome into the stream. Jesus Christ, Butthole is our starting word, and the word of the day, I guess. I guess it's a new thing that we're starting now, where every time I count down when we're about to start stream, one of these dickbags will start saying some really fucked shit that has nothing to do with stream, and I then have to try and say hi and wrangle the cats, so to speak.
Meow.
Anyway, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are in session 42, can you believe? 42. We've been going for about a year, but it's been like
fuck.
we've missed a bunch of weeks because of people being sick and us cancelling or postponing.
Life happens.
Exactly. So we're nearly at the 1 year mark, even though we're not at session 52. But with that said, you've come quite far. Welcome everybody. Let's get into it. Mars, Tats, Katie, and B here with us today. How are you all doing?
Alright, we moved the elliptical downstairs.
Ah. A distinct lack of energy I'm noticing from everybody, so that's I guess that's just where we are at.
I will compensate. I have had all the caffeine and 0 sleep.
Nice. Absolutely adore that.
That. Ditto.
I'm noticing that I
Way to
don't
be.
have somebody
Party.
on the board with us here. There we go.
Aren't I?
You're on the board, but Bri wasn't.
Okay.
So you have made your way through the realms, or well, this material plane anyway. You've made it across the divide into the roguelike realm. You've met this azure dragon. You've befriended said dragon. May not have understood the customs so much, but you meant well, and she left you in good tidings. You found your way to the shores of Gorizont, where you found evidence of terrible tragedy and lack there of animals. The only place that you were able to find them was at a camp called Guard Point. You managed to bring about this brilliant change in one of the old gods named Zachichu, who, as we've now learned, is the goddess of dreams and goals, ambitions, that kind of thing. Not just dreams in the sense of flights of fancy in the night kind of thing. And you have also been tasked with your own goals. So essentially, you were asked, what are your dreams? What do you each want to accomplish in your lives? And if you want to bring about any kind of change and bring Zachichu back from where she is trapped by the old gods, or the new gods rather, the Norse gods, to re-establish herself and take back the form of the friend, to be Zachichu once more, then you each need to accomplish your own dreams to be able to affect that change. So you were each asked what your goals were, and each one in turn gave us what your goals were. One by one, those were recorded by myself, and you are now tasked with making sure that those goals become a reality. Because when all of them are achieved, then Zachichu will become freed from this phantasmal prison that she's in, and will be able to return once more to be this benevolent goddess of goals, ambitions, dreams, and a personal future. And may change the story and this world for good. But you also have heard of 4 other goddesses. You've heard specifically through Briar's meditation, you have heard of what Ea actually was the middle one, the Mephit, the earth, essentially Mother Nature in its literal sense. And you've been communing and learning how to do all of that. But your goals don't lie in your clerical wisdom and your, religious insight. Your goals were, in fact, to make a name for yourself as an adventurer and step out from the long shadow that your parentage and your family name cast over your life up until this point. So that's where Briar's goals lay. But Briar, Katie wasn't with us in the last session, so we didn't get to hear that. And obviously, Shen is also not here at the moment. Shen is on the long journey back home from a lovely holiday, from what we've been seeing in the Discord. David is unwell today, so won't be able to join us as Odin.
Yeah.
But this is where we find ourselves. Basically, you are in Gorizont. You, through your help during the 8 days of downtime as you were leveling up to level 8 each, many of you made strides towards bettering yourselves, but 2 of you in particular, Ash and Ruby, made strides towards bettering a god in particular, Zachichu. And as a reward for that, you basically were encouraged to put some of your spell slots, your power, your magical essence into Zachichu to try and encourage a new goal, a new dream to be realized for Gorizont. And one by one, we went around to see how many spell slots and what levels of each you were going to pump into this. And in my mind, because I'm bad at maths, I thought 40, a combined number of 40 would be good. So if you had two 5th level spell slots, that equated to 10, right? And we did all of that, and you got to 76 total, which was crazy. So because you shot so far past 40, basically whatever each individual said was what they wanted out of this wish was what would happen. But one of your party, Odin, asked to become a benevolent god once again, to regain his youth and to be able to become a benevolent wanderer around the world. Odin, actually, in many languages and in many traditions, was known as the Wanderer, because he would show up at your door in a hooded cloak, and you wouldn't know him until he was given the bread and salt of the usual customs of, welcome and hospitality. Just as a little side fact there. So it makes sense that he would become a wanderer once more. Well, that's where Odin has gone. I've discussed this with David after he mentioned that he was unwell. And this was going to be my plan for Odin at this point anyway, because what he'd said was that he would be benevolent. What he does is he gives you directions to the exact point on the map where you would find Ox's farm, and he will know through his ravens watching you where he can find you when the time comes for you to go and fight Ox. And he will be there to help. But in that time, he's not going to be with you. So for the next however many sessions, until you decide now's the time to go and fight Ox, Odin will not be with the party. So, we're now at a point of crossroads. It is up to you guys where you go from here. You have got the run of Gorizont, essentially. This place has been marred by illusion and by threat, and animals have been turned into humanoids, and families have been destroyed, and all to keep people here under the guise that if they were to leave, then the whole place would be dragged to hell. But now we've learned that this was all a great illusion, a great farce by the fairy godmother, and was really just a glamour, a bardic glamour over the whole country. And now you are tasked with figuring out exactly what your next step on this journey is going to be. So I leave the floor to you. Where do you think you would go next? Hi, Doc. How are you doing?
I mean, we haven't.
Go ahead.
We have a map location, right? So.
You know where Ox's farm is, yeah. It's up to you whether you have anything else that you want to prepare during that time. And obviously, you're going to be traversing a long distance to get there, because it is the very far north of the map compared to where you are in the far south. So you're going to
Oh yeah,
have
I
a
wasn't.
long journey ahead. So
Have
really,
we
it's
had
just
a
like,
long rest?
how do you want to get there? Yeah, you can all have long rests, yeah. But, yeah, it's really just like, how do you want to get there?
Yeah. I mean, did you, Tats, did you get the scales back? By the way, I can't remember. Did you from last session?
Yeah, I got the scales. Yeah.
Yeah, because we could always ask our dragony friend, just to at least make the journey slightly less long.
Giddy's doing her best with the thing.
I assume
There's not a lot that
that
we
we would
can
want
do
to head
about it at this
towards the
point.
farm, even if
She
not
needs to
saying we
get
don't stop
someone
along
else
anywhere
involved to
along the
get this
way.
sorted.
But I presume that would be our goal.
Yeah. Sounds logical to me.
Cool.
Hmm.
I mean, there's also we've all kind of, we've got extra information about the ancient gods as well. So basically, information about the rock formations in Dreidel. So there's also potentially the option of
Bigger
heading to
rocks.
where the dwarves were from. Like, was it an academy type thing? And speak with them. There's that option as well, potentially.
Quite a ways back, eh?
That would be far northeast of the map, and you're going far northwest of the map.
Alrighty, root.
So it would be a large detour, but you could definitely get there. It just wouldn't be a straight shot. Do you know what I mean?
It's not a logical stop.
Look, not with
Well,
the
just a
birds. We're
suggestion.
not on
Well,
a
there's
time
no,
crunch for them
there's.
anymore.
I'm not putting any limiters here on where you can go. You can go wherever you feel is necessary, and if that means that you take a large detour to get some supplies or find more people, go at it. And you've obviously got your own goals to be working towards on this journey as well. There's no clock on that, but the sooner you get it done, the sooner you'll return a goddess to the realm. I'm actually quite good, Doc. I have made the shift to vegetarianism 3 days ago, and it's not that bad actually. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would.
I mean, do we think we would want to try and reinstate a goddess before dealing with Ox, or like would that be something we would want to do first, or feel we would need to do before going to Ox again, or because of having Odin, for instance, it would be less pivotal for that particular quest?
Aurelia at this point, by the way, Mars, I'm just going to bring your token down so I can copy you all in a bit easier.
Go for it.
So Aurelia at this point of the discussion chimes in with, well, we got the help of one god. Would it not help us to get the help of another?
Yeah, but where's the others?
I thought the others don't.
She's one
like
out of
each other.
5.
Oh no, I mean Zachichu. I mean Zachichu. We can't get the help of Zachichu while she's locked in a prison.
Yeah.
So would it not help us to get our goals in line?
Yes.
If we achieve our dreams, then things will be better? No?
Yes.
So,
I mean,
Briar, you need to like become like renowned for being an adventurer, right? Could we not do something? Couldn't we do something similar to what Ox did with the scrying screens that went all over the land? Is there like a wizard who might be able to send out that kind of an image across the territory, across Alandressa, so people can hear the actual events and not just go by what he said? I'm sure people would be grateful to know that like we're clearing up a lot of the undead that are walking around. Maybe they might return to their homes if we do.
I mean, they might, but what does everybody else think?
We'd have to hope that they would believe us. That's the key bit. But I mean, we've not just cleaned up the undead that's going around. Well, I guess he does classify as the undead, but I'm pretty sure
Does
we mentioned that we got
saving
rid of the
here
holy
not count?
people would be appreciative.
Well, what about the people here? We just tell them to leave and spread the word.
If they want to leave.
Well, that's just it. Yeah, if they want to, they don't have to. But if they want to, they can now.
You remember?
And that's just it.
You remember from the last session that these goblins and small folk and all of the other humanoids in the area were rioting. They were bringing down this like established monarchy, essentially. This like person who had stationed themselves at the rank of queen without taking any like advice from anybody or being voted into power. And they were glad to bring her down to her senses, and she has fallen by a great deal, the fairy godmother. So, you know, the people here, the sentiment that you can see at the moment is burning everything to the ground and happy to do it.
Maybe we should stop them from necessarily burning everything, because, you know, some people might want to stay here. And you know, live here, and then like some people can leave if they want to, like do their own thing. Maybe tell a few people that we did pretty cool stuff.
But would they believe us? Like, we would need proof, wouldn't we?
Well, they would have to believe them, right?
I mean, if we want proof, there are people that we have helped who we can always project them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We just helped this whole country.
Help this whole country?
We could tell them to repeat it.
Repeat it.
There you go. See? They catch on quick.
I catch on quick.
See?
Yes.
Our first thing, though, is
Maggie's
we'd have
done
to
well.
work out the way to do this.
Good job, Maggie.
Well,
You've been learning a lot from Victor.
well, so here's my side of things, right? Aurelie comes forward. Look, we don't all live in the same places. Not everybody lives in a house above ground. Some people prefer to live in the undergrowth, some people in tunnels, some people in nests. Some people live in the water. What's like keeping anybody from doing that here? We know that those crystals didn't actually do anything. There's got to have been some rebellious few who decided to do more than just run from the beaches. Those rebels, like, that went to march on the castle before, like, when they came back to find us, they were dumb. If you know that someone's trying to hold a blade over you, and you openly go to swing for them, then they're just going to stab you before you get the chance to do anything. The real attack, and she gets out her roguish blade, which up to this point you haven't noticed is concealed in her hand, and she brings it up towards Maggie's neck. The real rogue is the one who attacks without you even knowing you've been attacked in the first place. There's got to be somebody. There's got to be somebody around here who made efforts to leave and actually succeeded. Because those crystals wouldn't have exploded. Someone will have been diligent enough to do it. I have faith in that. I don't know how to find them, though. Because if they hid from the fairy godmother and her forces, then they probably hid well enough that none of us could find it.
Where are they gone? Or would you hide from Fairy Godmother?
I guess just away.
Another plane?
I think
Ah,
magic might be easy to spot, but like just digging a tunnel. I don't think that the Fairy Godmother could really see that far. Her crystals didn't go into the earth that deep. You know? They were like 6 feet? Any decent tunnel goes deeper than that. And then there's the sky. I don't remember seeing any person that looked like Ash or Maggie around here whatsoever. What stops them from just flying away? You know what I mean?
I wanted the belief that the whole country would go to hell.
But someone's
That
got
would
to
be
be
the
out
only
there.
belief.
Someone's got to be out there putting the information around, right? Someone's got to be out there telling people the actual truth of it. Because-
Wasn't it the little turtle stick guy that Ruby killed, and then the other fella, and the other one that got turned into pavement?
Anyway, it was just something I was thinking of, but I'll let you guys get back to your discussion.
It wasn't a bad thought.
So come
I
on.
mean, we don't really
Plans. You guys are very calmly, slowly, quietly talking about this, but not actually doing anything. So what are we gonna do? We gotta move. We can't sit in the forest in every session. You're always stealthy in a forest. Where are you gonna move? Where are you gonna go to? Plans. Okay. Ruby does a semi-decent backflip. You gotta work on those backflips. The front flips are great, but the backflips need work.
You asked me to move.
Yeah.
Oh, smart Al.
Where are we going?
Well, everybody can leave now, so let's go find. Because Azure, Lady Azure.
The dragon.
Can I do a history check on remembering information about the dwarfs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to carry this armor for a long time. I wanted to go back to the rightful owner.
You remember that Sparkling Swell at Neat Tide was who you called Azure, and that she had a patch of what do you call it? Of scales missing from under one of her wings. This is aimed at Ash, not at Mars, at Aldrin. But you do recall that she left you there at the shore and said that she would be going, so you don't know that she's going to be sat there waiting for you. Like, she might have gone. She might be somewhere else at this point. Yeah, you remember, you think back to when you met these dwarves, and you don't really remember a great deal besides the fact that their college was closed at the point that they were what's the word? It was Melfor and Florian that you met. You remember that the college closed because the whole land was being filled with undead, and the people who ran the college decided to escape to some plane of existence beyond there. But those two decided to stay behind and were arguing over how to excavate these rocks, right? You have helped them do that, and now they are off on their own business. So you don't know precisely what else that there might be to them.
I think it might be worth it to go after the dwarves guy.
Yeah, let's go ahead and explore that.
So we're headed north towards Dreedle again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Seems so.
Okay. So you start to head north up the island of Gorizont. As you head north, you notice that there are still crystals everywhere, but they're starting to fade in their like shine. There's less of a glisten to them in the light now, and they're turning more into like a matte appearance. The shard of crystal that you took from it as well is also starting to dim and fade as the power that was imbued into it by this powerful bard, the fairy godmother, has now dissipated because she's been reduced down to level 1, as was your wish to Zachichu. All of these crystals are being sort of pulled down into the earth, like the earth is starting to swallow them up, as if some other power has sort of entered this area for the first time in a long time, and is starting to reclaim these pieces of earth back into themselves. As you head north, you can see that there are people who are still sacking and burning the place, and that these people are happy with it. But there are those few who also cower in corners and hope for their own homes to remain untouched. It's up to you whether you help these people or not. If you do, just tell me how and we can roleplay that bit. No rolls. Yes, no?
Yes. Help put the fire out, guys? Question mark.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we gotta like prove like we're good people ever since that thing with Ox. So I think the more we help, the better that'll be.
Okay. Can
Okay. How does each of you help to put out this fire then? Each in your own way.
can control flames put out fire?
Yes, it can extinguish a flame, yeah.
Aldrin's gonna go around putting out flames.
Right. Not only do you notice, though, that the flames are being extinguished, but the timbers that they were burning through are still damaged. Is there anything that any of you might be able to do with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna use
Mending.
my mending cantrip to repair things like that.
Perfect. You also see that some of these people have been injured during their journeys, and many of them have lost their way or are trying to find their way out but don't actually have any sense of which way is north, south, east, west. They've been cornered in this place for so long. You can also see that many of the humanoids that were in this area have now been returned back to their original forms of woodland critters, and you see a lot of animals around. Each of those are looking confused and scared as well. Any thoughts on what the rest of you might be doing for that?
I can help with the cuts and boo-boos.
Boo-boos, okay. Love that. Okay, so you use medicine and healing to try and help these people, yeah?
Ruby will help with directions, because that's what she can do.
Ruby's traveled a long distance. Ruby's very good at knowing the direction of a place just by the sky and the stars and stuff, I would imagine.
Backflip to
Her
show them.
spells aren't designed for help.
Yeah. And a backflip just to say like, oh, you want to go north? Oh, well then don't go this way, and like backflip. Very serious, Ruby.
Just to entertain people, you know.
Yeah. You actually see that a crowd starts to gather and sees all of you working together. Like a few people muttering to each other at first, not really taking it a lot in. But then, as the rioters sort of fade into the background and the crackles of the timbers start to die down, you notice that you are the main people here. You're the main draw of this area, and a few people starting to lose themselves, and children, in fact, are coming over to watch you and sort of start to marvel at the good deeds that you're doing around here. I'd give you all a group persuasion check. So we're going to take the average roll here for persuasion. And I'll roll for Isabel.
Persuasion.
That's Isabel gets a 13, Ruby an 18, Briar 22.
Very nice.
And Tats?
I'm working on it. Hold on. I was like flipping the screens, and you said persuasion?
Yes, please. 15. So you actually get an average of 15 with that one. The highest though by far is Briar, and I think that starts to like that sings out true. Like people here are starting to see that yes, there are people who are using cantrips to mend the houses, and those who are using them to control flames, and people just guiding, and Isabel using the connection to druidic to be able to speak to these animals and help to calm them, and Aurelie and Maggie just sort of helping wherever they can to assist those of you who are more powerful and more adept at these things. But truly, it is probably Briar who is the one who is the standout best at helping people with medicine checks, making sure that they're feeling like soothed while helping with these healing. It's not just making a spell, because there's still a psychological trauma that's deeper down. When you've seen that, like, you've got this deep gash in your arm and you don't know if it's going to get infected and you'll die from it, for someone to just come over and immediately, magic it back to normal, that's not going to be the easiest thing to get over. But, Briar, maybe you could tell us, like, how do you soothe people's worries and maladies while you're helping them?
I would, as I'm going around and making my rounds here and seeing what people need, I'll kind of give them reassurance. Like if, as you said, if they have a cut on their arm, I'm not just going to go and just heal it without telling them what I'm doing. I'll let them know, like, this is easy to heal. Let me just, place my hand over your wound, and it's going to disappear, and you're going to start to feel much better. There won't be anything that's going to happen to you afterwards. Just take a deep breath. We can all get through this. Just sort of like a general pep talk almost, but
Yeah.
like also explaining to them that their wounds are going to disappear, and that they will not have any infection or anything lasting effects.
I'm going to ask, does Briar reach into the order inside of her or the chaos inside of her while doing this?
It's a little bit of both. I would say that Briar generally excels at chaotic situations, but she brings order to them. Like it's sort of like an adrenaline thing, like I find the calm in the chaos.
Yeah.
Um
Sort of the eye of the storm.
and yeah, like I definitely embrace the chaos, but I can do it with an orderly fashion. Like I can help ease people's or I try to at least ease people's anxiety.
You don't notice, but after a while, you've been, like, basically holding a clinic here while everybody's going about trying to help all of these different people in their different places. You've been helping and guiding multiple people, one after another, and when you look up, you see that you've just helped, like, 20 people. And you start to worry and wonder, like, where is this magic, where is this power coming from for me to heal so many different people? Because I would never be able to heal this many people. Like, my magic would run out before the end, And that's when you start to feel that not only are you the eye of the storm, you are the order in the chaos, but your chaotic side is being fed into by this resurgence of what you now realize through all these crystals dimming and dying is Mother Nature, Mafit, being brought back to this land and being able to flourish as nature once again. That nature is going about its course, and nature, by its very nature, is chaos. It is just chaos given life. And that's what you're feeling. You're feeling this energy of chaos being brought up through the roots, through your own, like, planted legs and knees on the ground, coming up through your core and being tamed by you. to be able to offer these healing powers towards these people. You realize that this is something that is only happening in this place now, as it is a sort of resurgence of this feeling of nature finally finding its feet once more. But like, even for this short temporary boost that you're getting, my god, does it feel good that you're able to step out and excel at what it is that you usually excel at. And everybody else, you're seeing this too. You're seeing Briar really trying to, starting to really have confidence in herself to be able to be this outstanding person without making any sort of draw towards herself. And I think that Ruby, being this champion, if you like, of the goddess of dreams, you, I think, can start to see this dream becoming a reality. That people are starting to see Briar as being more than just, a product of her family, a product of her lineage. You know?
Ooh, I love that.
Have
I'm
you?
so proud of you.
Have you ever, like? I know that a lot of you have told each other your first names, but you've been with each other for so long now that I wonder whether any of you have shared your last names with each other.
No.
No, I don't believe so.
No. Okay.
Ruby's not sharing that shit.
No.
She, for Ruby, if this I'll pause.
Yeah.
Full on pause?
Yeah, I meant pause as in P-A-U-S-E. Someone else
Yeah.
take the wheel, and I'll chime in when appropriate.
So I think that Briar, being from a well-known family, like top level clerics within a powerful organization across Alandressa, it would be difficult to not recognize Briar's the accoutrement of your armor and the sash around your arm and all of those kind of details. That Briar is through and through a Dawnheart, but is trying so much to be so different from the Dawnhearts that it's apparent at this point to each of you who might know what their reputation is, that Briar is very much branching away from that, pun intended, and is becoming a very different kind of cleric to what has been taught in those lines. But yeah.
Mars, did you just roll a nat 1 on a history check?
Yeah.
Yeah. Aldrin's clueless about the history of your last name, my dear.
Yeah.
I don't think I would know.
Okay, that's a fancy name.
I think you get the name completely wrong, Aldrin, with an at one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you think that it's something like Doomshot.
Doorhard.
Yeah. That's probably kinda.
Hard. That's probably great.
Yeah. Doorhard is a lot more kind. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Doorhard. I get
right.
Doorhard.
So Aldrin thinks that it's Doorhard. I think Ruby mishears that and then has an iteration even on that one. And so the two of you think that it's completely different. But Briar, you could tell me if this is wrong, but I think Briar is too focused on helping people to even notice them getting it wrong.
I think it would honestly be kind of I guess kind of the anonymity of my name would have dawned, lack of a better word, dawned on me earlier than just now. But I would have reveled in the fact that the group that I'm with doesn't care about my name, because that's the entire purpose of what Briar has set out to do, is become more than her surname. So the fact that the people that I've spent time with here and gotten to know on our journey so far, the fact that they don't know or recognize my name would honestly bring a really big smile to my face, because that's exactly what I want. I want to be known for being Briar, not Dawnheart. So yeah. I think, it wouldn't bother me at all that Ruby and Aldrin got my name wrong. I would actually I would be happy about that.
I think that that's a really like. But it's definitely like a legit way of seeing it, you know? Like, you want to step away from your family, and really, your name is a byproduct of that family. So, maybe losing the name or modifying it might help you to step away from their shadow a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Um, and maybe that becomes something that plays through your mind of like, maybe I don't want to be known as a Dawnheart. Maybe I want to be known as, I don't know, Briar the Bold or Briar the Brave or something like that.
Yeah.
It would make those pesky wanted posters look a little bit more interesting to you anyway. While you're doing this, you were all traveling through and you managed to get this area of people righted. Their homes are back to a good standard, like even in some ways better than they were before. Because this repairs and the mending is obviously doing strides beyond what they would have had already. The crystals are starting to be taken down through the earth and into the ground, and nature is starting to take hold once more. You're seeing little sprouts of plants and flowers starting to grow from out of the grass, and weeds and bees coming and buzzing around you as they start to go about their daily drone in each of these pollen-infested fields. And truly, these people around you are not just seeing you, but seeing the magic and the majesty of nature around them starting to come about, and these crystals, the signs of their oppression, are disappearing from underneath them. They no longer feel like they are being held down, they feel like they are being liberated. And I think that with that, over the next day, you'll notice that these riots will start to calm as well. And over that day, you'll be traveling north to get your way off of this big island, this entire territory. During that time, is there anything in particular that you guys as a party would be looking for or like seeking out through your journey? You'll get there anyway, but I'm just wondering, like, is there anything that your eyes are looking for on the horizon? And how are you looking for it?
Keeping an eye out for anything magical or like the academy the dwarfs were talking about at one point.
Yeah, I was gonna say like some sort of dwarven, like, I don't know, relics. Does anyone know what that would look like?
Runes? Runes, maybe? I'm not sure. But yeah, just kind of keeping an eye out for anything dwarven, I guess.
Okay.
Uh,
Anybody else?
anything that looks Art Deco.
Yes, I saw that meme. I saw that meme like a year before you sent it to me. I know exactly what you mean.
Oh, I've seen it a million times.
Yeah, Art Deco
and I love it
and
I
Art
share it
Nouveau.
every time.
Yeah. Art Nouveau being elves and Art Deco being dwarves. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Okay, so the two of you are looking for dwarvish things. What about Briar and Ruby specifically? I've not heard from you two. What are you looking for? Speak.
Where are we headed again?
Off the island north.
Off the island north.
What are you looking for on your journey? What is it specifically that you're
we
looking
found
for?
out last session that I wasn't here, that it's safe to leave, right?
Yes. Basically, all these crystals that look like they were going to explode are only there as an illusion to try and make people think that they couldn't leave, when in actual fact they were just an illusion. A way of making people imprison themselves.
I would try to keep an eye out for anything that seemed like out of place. Obviously out of place.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Okay.
Ruby, are you looking for anything in particular, or are you helping Briar with this?
Oh, Briar doesn't see shit.
Ruby is entirely
Hey,
silent.
I was gonna say I could help Briar since you've just rolled a nat 1.
There we go. That is a nat
Yep,
1.
there you go. Have the help action.
There we go. You hadn't said anything up until that point, so I was like, hey, Ruby, want to do a help action?
Yeah, I was
Alright.
a bit lost on what I
You
wanted
can
to
roll
do.
once more, Briar Flat.
Okay.
That'll give you, in effect, advantage. Wow, two nat
Jesus.
ones.
Really?
Yeah, two nat ones. So with two
I
nat
helped.
ones... Yeah, with two nat ones, I think Ruby is, like, trying to help, but is getting in your way every time you try and, like, look over the horizon. Like, Ruby's just, like, a typical cat, like, standing in front of your legs, tripping you over. And yeah,
I think
the
Briar
two of
might
you
just
really
be
managed to
like-
make a hash of this.
Yeah, I think I might be
I
just
hope-
focused on the fact that I just helped all these people and I'm feeling really strong. I'm feeling like my connection to healing is getting stronger, and the fact that I'm feeling more and more like Briar standing out from my family name. I think I'm just like overwhelmed by the fact that all of this is becoming a reality and I'm just reeling in it. So I think I'm too focused on that to see anything.
So Isabel turns into a wolf and is going to use some perception checks of her own. She gets advantage on perception checks based on sight or no, smell or hearing. That's it. And using that ability gets a nat 20 on the perception check, which is going to help enormously. My god, you getting two nat ones really nearly fucked you. You managed to notice, thanks to Isabel, who comes back out of wolf form and turns to the group, having been in wild shape for a while now to try and calm the animals around, has just made this association with you looking out for something new and different, and is making her own checks, which I think is the kind of thing that Shen would want to do anyway if Shen were here on this session. And Isabel will sort of turn back into a humanoid form and say, I think that there might be something northeast of here. Something that we've not encountered yet here. I don't know if you guys want to go and explore it, but it smells different.
Okay. Let's go.
Do the rest of you go?
Oh, look, a shiny. Starts to wander.
Guys, you're all so silent. I need people to stop being muted. Tell me, are you going?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
you're going.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, someone made a joke. Sorry.
Great, thank you. Bloody hell. Okay. You find your way up towards a large forested ravine. You see that the rocks here are in different formations. This feels truly natural. This doesn't feel like it's been shaped and carved in any kind of sense by any kind of bard or any kind of magic. This feels like this is a world away from the world, like this is the loops and whirls of a fingerprint almost. And as you stand here, you can see a rope swing bridge across a large deep ravine, leading towards what seems like a small, modest sort of stone building. There are there's a small tower, there are stone walls, no real entry point besides the two doors that you can see at the end of this bridge. Is there anything that you wish to do at this point?
Can I look around and see if anything's kind of like standing out?
There's an enormous
Yeah.
building that you've never seen before across. That is definitely standing out. You can do a perception check to see anything else besides. But what is it specifically that you're looking for? Is that perception checks for
Guards.
anything that stands out is a real non-thing. Do you know what I mean?
Looking for
Right.
guards, looking for security, looking for people.
Great. Guard, security, people. Look
Aldrin
for...
sees nothing but
Yeah.
Ferdinand.
You see... No, actually, I think that you do see a couple of guards over on the horizon. Around here. You can see that there's like... what looks like two guys standing talking to each other. Ash, if you
people.
could do that perception check...
Rolling
We've-
now.
We've been doing this for nearly a year now. Come on, we should know where the perception check tab is. Okay,
It's
a nat 1 and a
sometimes I
nat
can't read.
3. You guys have got
Help.
terrible rolls today. This is this is so hard to
Help.
keep this carriage moving.
I'm
Help.
sorry.
Ash, you're not looking. You're not really doing a great job of finding anything. But Ruby, thankfully, does manage to do a good job. Ruby, what is it that you're looking for with your perception check?
I really wish I knew. Because if it's such a good score roll, it's going to be based on Ruby's knowledge of trying to like navigate and track groups while she's been out and about on jobs for the dairy, because that's where her.
Oh,
So
right.
perception-
Okay.
So the perception check probably is more a
Mm.
survival check, really. But I was panicking because everyone rolled badly. Is going to be more on trying to work out, have people been here before, and if so, where do their tracks or where do their whatever lead?
I
to?
agree this would be a survival check, but your modifier for a survival check is exactly the same, so we'll take the same roll.
Yeah.
What there is a thing about this. Truly there is something about this that the others around you haven't truly like clocked yet. Aldrin thinks that there's a couple of guards over there. Ash got a nat 1, so Ash is just like, I don't know, you've got grit in your eyes or something, so you can't see a damn thing. Isabel managed to get you guys here, but I think Ruby at this point, you do truly help with your experience of tracking in the wilds, and you finding your way across vast distances, doing your errands as you used to for Dear Dairy. At this point, what stands out to you is not the tracks in the ground, which are apparent. And there are a multitude, and they are, so varietous in like the shape and the number of toes and the depth and the height of all of these creatures. But what stands out to you at this point is the fact that this is one enclosed point out of the ground. That this has a ravine encircling the entire place, and that you haven't seen any evidence of a bridge on any other part of it. You've also not seen any of the tracks leading back out again. So there's something about this which truly seems like a lot of people went in there, and it doesn't look like anybody came back out again.
I would like to tell the group this.
Tell the group that
Yay.
then.
Yay, information.
I was just going to say relay.
Right. Yeah. Who needs roleplay? Okay,
Shit,
so you
people
guys
haven't come out.
So you
I could roleplay if you would like. I'm trying to be
I
easy.
always want people to roleplay. None of you say a damn thing to each other half the time. I appreciate when anyone roleplays. Thank you. I very much appreciate it. You finally say a word to them other than just, I say what the DM said. And thank you very much for that.
I could do it now if you'd like, but I'm stubborn and you've spoiled it.
Well, there we go. So you tell the rest of the party that people are going in and nobody's coming out, and that there are a lot of different track types and movements in. But yeah, nothing that would evidence anyone leaving.
Well, that
Yes.
doesn't bode well.
No, it certainly doesn't. Unless they're not angry. Maybe they're just in there having fun. Who knows?
Like
Maybe
a
it's
party.
a tavern.
Who would party here?
Well, it's a diverse party. That wasn't ominous at all. Thanks, DM.
Right.
I have a feeling there are 2 guards that may be trying to do some perception checks or something. I don't know.
That's metagaming.
I know,
Banned.
it was a joke.
Banned.
I wasn't actually saying that. Alright, ban me. I've dropped
Alright,
all
fire. Fucking meteor hits from the ground. From the sky. You're getting a meteor strike on your head. No, I'm joking.
Rude.
I think at this point, you all notice that Aurelie is doing a really poor job of trying to walk over the bridge. But Maggie is doing a little bit better and is sort of slinking off away from Aurelie to try and stay away from Aurelie's poor foot sort of noises. But they are both moving towards the bridge and are making their way across it. While all of you are discussing.
We noticed this? Or...
Oh, yes. They rolled an 8 and a 16 on their stealth checks.
Okay. So at least notice one of them has. Ruby will turn to the group and be like, guess we're going then.
Yep. Alright, let's go.
But I am going to roll a stealth roll, because I've now just clocked that they're stealthying it. If we just follow, then that will go badly. Never mind.
Wow, and that
Stealthy.
two. Shout out to the 2 crew. And a 5. The only person who's done relatively well here is Maggie. Oh, there we go. Ash got a 21.
Yeah.
You did a good stealth
Ash
roll.
got a 21.
It's
And
so
another
weird.
5.
It-
And
the
another
plumage matches.
5. And an 18
matches
from
the
Isabel.
area.
18 from Isabel. Okay, great. So all that you need to do then is just beat the passive perception of these 2 guards. I just need you guys to make your way across the bridge as you would, I guess. Maggie and Aurelie are just going to make their way across and step over to one side to get behind these rocks. Isabel has used up all of the wild shapes of the day, so is going to just make her way across and hide with these guys. What do Aldrin, Ash, and Briar and Ruby all do?
I'm working on it. Hold on.
Is it just the rock, or is there anything else to hide near?
Well, you see what you see. There's plain rock over
Wow.
here. The guards are over this sort of direction. From what
Can we
Aldrin
see
saw.
them? From
Oh,
what Aldrin said. Okay.
Give me another give me a
There.
perception check, Ruby.
I
now
am
that you're out in the open.
helping.
Alrighty, roo. You're helping me.
Too late.
Yes, I just
Far too late. Everyone's already crossed. Far too late. You can
No,
do it when
I
you're
said
over the other
it was a
side.
perception.
No, I
Oh.
know. Ash giving
I
pass without
see.
trace. You didn't say a word up until
Oh.
everyone was already across the bridge. No chance
I
you're using
forgot
that.
about it until just now.
Well,
I've
tough
not
shit.
seen Pass Without Trace.
19 perception. Ruby notices that those 2 guards are actually just weird-looking rocks. There's no guards here.
Ruby's going to keep that to herself.
Okay, I love that. So everybody is getting paranoid. Aldrin, you can still see them, and they do definitely look like they are 2 guards ready to attack.
Well, we should go, guys. Those guards are angry.
So what you can see here is that there are there's doors here, 2 doors in, directly in front of you here.
Mm-hmm.
You also notice that there are windows appointed a few places around the building.
Peek through the window.
This is
Gonna be stealthy.
So this would be directly in front of where these 2 guards would be. So would Aldrin step out in front of 2 guards, do you think?
Not knowing they were there. Aldrin would try and go around this side and see if
Right. Yeah. So this is
There's
going to
a
be a
window
narrow
door.
ledge, but you
Yeah.
can make your way across. Yeah.
peek through nearest window.
So in this first sort of foyer, you can see that there is just the opening, and then the other two sets of doors are also closed to the next room and the next room over. But in this first foyer, there doesn't seem like there's anybody inside.
The first room looks empty, guys, if you want to hurry.
Okay, I guess we're gonna. I mean, is it empty though? You said it looks empty.
Looked empty, yeah.
Looks empty.
Ruby just goes
Yeah,
in.
Ruby just goes inside.
Onward.
Just curious.
Doot doot.
Curiosity killed the cat.
The satisfaction
Brought him back.
Someone's closed the door now. I'm going to open it again. Let's not close these doors.
Yeah.
Stop closing the door! Bloody hell.
I didn't do it.
Someone's trying to do
I
it.
went in.
B!
No, I went in and I accidentally closed it. I was trying to reopen it. You already hit it.
I saw you click that, B. I saw you click that. I can see your cursor.
You saw nothing.
Son of a bitch. Right. You managed to make your way inside. Isabel and Maggie and Aurelie come up from behind. I guess, do you all push all the way in?
Yeah. Well, no.
Okay, so I'm just gonna make Aurelie fit in behind you because none of you are moving away from the door. You're the worst kind of people who just stop still in the middle of a walkway and make everybody else in the shopping centre move around you. I hate people who do that. At least move to one side. If you're gonna stop. I don't know, man. I get irritated when people walk slowly. IRL. Okay, you are now inside of this. You now are inside of the. You've got wings. You can fly.
In real life.
You've got wings. You can fly in real life. Anyway, there's you walk into this place. It looks like there's a lot of dirt has been ground into the floor here, but in many different colors and many different shades. It seems like this is yes, drive the fucking DM crazed. I am noticing already. You're pushing every single DM button there is. Never talk, never move, never make any decisions. Fucking open and close doors at will. Yeah, it's yes. You notice Ruby in particular with your survival check from earlier. I think that carries over into this. You can see that there is a lot of dirt in a lot of different like shades and tones, and it seems like it's from all over a full biome of like land, right? It's like you're noticing that there is something from the winter time, something from the summertime. There is like autumnal leaves in here. There are pine needles in here. There's all kinds of different foliage and leaf litter ground into the dirt in these small cobblestones of this ground. And it gives you this sense that whoever came here from a broad area. These were not just from one particular location. They were brought from across like vast distances, it must be, because these trees don't usually grow in one big uniform scattered thing all the way across the land. You'd have to find them. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that you're getting here, is that of all those people who came in this direction, they must have come from a long, broad distance.
So Ruby turns back to the group and says, whoever has come here or been here, traveled here, they've come from everywhere. Not just the same place, not just the same climate. This is a hotbed of people.
Sounds like where we just were, too.
Are these people trapped too, or were they trapped?
Well, if they're trapped inside the house that they can't leave, we've walked willingly into it, so we'll find out.
Oh, here's another place we gotta get out of.
Maggie turns around and checks to see that the door opens, and it does.
Okay, so we're not trapped.
You've
Well,
got
that makes
double
it
doors
very
to the
good.
right
Or
here,
we
and you've
just
got double
stayed.
doors ahead of you as well.
Well, shall we go through?
Are there any kind of window panels, anything like that?
I'm just gonna
Not
go
on the
through.
inside, no. You can do a check on the door if you wish, or you can try to open it.
I would
I'm
like
gonna
to
try-
listen at the door.
You listen at the door. Give me a perception check. With a 17, you don't hear any movement on the other side, but you do hear the crackle of, like, flames.
Ooh, fire. Ruby would like to go in.
Alright. You go
And
to turn the door
tells
handle.
Aldrin, don't think there's anyone in there.
You go to turn the door handle. It's one of those, like, old, like you get them a lot on, like, the latches of gates, right? Where it's like, it's just a hoop of metal and, like, one flat piece of metal stuck out to the side, sort of just caught on a little notch. And as you turn that, this creaky old wooden door that's clearly seen a lot of love swings open into a room that you immediately see is full of cracked black stone and has, like, chains and shackles and bones on the ground, as well as flame-lit braziers and torches on the walls. Ash, you were going to open your door as well?
Yeah.
Are you making
I
any
was
checks
just gonna
first,
open
or just opening it?
Nope, I'm just opening it.
Alright, you open the door and you see that there is a lovely rug in the middle of the room. It looks like there are some simple hammocks and beds. There are like chests here as well that look like they've been opened and left with nothing much in them, just like a copper or two. And then there's another door over beyond.
I'm gonna talk back to the people behind me and say, hey, it looks like this room was kind of ransacked, but it's also sleeping quarters? Maybe a small barracks of some sort?
Is there anywhere further?
There's another door in here.
Should we check through there?
You want me to open it? I'll open it.
We've come this far.
This time I am gonna listen at the door.
Okay, give me a perception check.
No, not persuasion. Stop.
With a 17, you lean your head in. Place it right up against the door. You can feel and you can hear that there's nothing in that room. It's just.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna be like, I'm gonna get stabbed through like, the head.
Yeah. You can just open the door.
All right.
There you go.
Open the door.
It's a kitchen. It's like a pantry. There's like bread. There are wheels of cheese. There's like a bench on the side where the cook would probably sat. But there's not much in the way of like actual cooking equipment in here. It seems like it's more of a store of food than it is like a preparation area. More like pantry kind of deal.
I'm just gonna be like, cheese.
Nice.
Whoopsie.
Ruby fucked right off from the room with the shackles in anyway, so Ruby's now just going to come join for the cheese.
I think.
What else for the Gouda guys?
Aurelie and Maggie both walk into the room with the chains.
Hey, I've found cheese, guys.
Yum, cheese.
I would like to do a check on the cheese to see if it's new cheese or old cheese. Like, how old is this cheese? And I have advantage on cheese-based things.
You do. I remember. Okay.
So what check would you like me to do on the cheese?
I mean, what specifically are you trying to figure out? You want to know if it's new cheese or old cheese?
Yeah, I'm trying to investigate whether this is like cheese that's been recently purchased or cheese that's been hanging around for a while.
As in, it's been here for a while, or it's new? Because those are two different things.
I know, it's not like a mature cheese or one that's been aged, going nice and blue and mouldy. Whether it's been recently purchased at the correct age, or whether it's been hanging around, not eaten, then left. Because we've not found many people yet, so I'm trying to work out: is this an active kitchen or is this a fucked off kitchen?
Right. I get you. Okay. Let me see. What check would that be? Investigation, I think. Because it's more about the circumstances surrounding it than it is about the thing itself. And with a +0, you get 13 on the die with your advantage. Not bad. Which is better than the 3 that you would have got. So we praise the Lord DM above for your advantage on dairy-based checks. Yes, in fact, this has been brought here very recently.
So, we haven't seen anyone yet, but this is definitely an active kitchen. And then Ruby takes a piece of cheese.
So it's new cheese?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, new cheese.
Yeah, Ruby just choked on a piece of cheese. Yeah.
Yeah, tried to talk and swallow at the same time. It was terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Also, that pained me because I can't cope with open mouth chewing.
Yes. Do you know what? I actually, I didn't know whether you would be open mouth chewing when we went to see Thunderbolts. And I was so relieved when you were chewing with your mouth closed. I was like, oh, thank fuck. Our friendship would just be over.
I can't cope with the sound of my own chewing.
Yeah. Same. That's why I don't eat popcorn.
I was eating mini eggs and it was driving.
Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, God, she's really quiet eating the. Yeah, I was like, she's really quiet eating those fucking mini eggs. Those are loud even at the best of times.
I was letting them out.
Yeah.
My mouth because
how acute my hearing is. Yeah.
On my own, I will not crunch around other people.
Yeah, Yeah. My hearing is so acute that I can hear that no matter what. I used to work with a guy called Romeo, and he always, when we were nurses together, and he invariably, if we were on shift together, I have no idea why, but whoever was in charge of the shift would send both of us on our break at the same time. And if you imagine the worst person for chewing with their mouth open, multiply it by 100. This guy had wet mouth. He almost stretched his mouth to open it as wide as he possibly could. It felt like it was that exaggerated. And he always had some kind of moist chicken. So it was all of the sloppy sounds. It was fucking hell. And I was losing my mind. I was like, look, I can't go on my break with this guy. I can't go on my break with Romeo anymore. And he was a really nice guy. He was such a lovely guy. He was such a great nurse. But I hated him for that. Hated him for it.
I have no qualms in just telling people,
which is kind of an issue in and of itself. That's a bodily function.
Yeah.
I don't even like the sound of it.
I hate breathing sounds. When your nose is blocked at night and you start having noisy nose sounds when you're trying to sleep, it's fucking annoying.
Yeah. Well, I know that
my nose is broken, so I can't breathe.
Yeah, your nose is broken and blocked. Mine. I had to have treatment on it. We're completely going off the rails here with the D&D thing, aren't we? I had the. Don't worry, we'll get back to it. I had a period where I was being treated for my breathing because I couldn't breathe through my nose either. And when the doctor had a look, he was like, "Oh yeah, these are." Actually, she had a look and she was like, "Oh yeah, it's actually a lot more swollen than I was expecting. You've got inflamed nasal passages, and I don't know why. And I guess it must just be a long-term histamine thing because I'm usually very itchy all over, and apparently that's linked to autism. That you can have a constant itch that you can never satisfy, which I do feel all the fucking time, and it's why I take regular antihistamines every day. But yeah, it's linked to mast cell things and allergic responses and stuff. Anyway, so more food for thought for both of you. So yeah, I was getting treatment for all of that. And I've lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? This is
people
not helpful.
Being chewy.
D&D.
Chewy people. Chewy people. It was chewy people.
Chewing loudly.
Chewing loudly.
You had treatment to sort out your breathing on your nose.
That's it. So because I can't breathe through my nose very well, I still haven't been able to because someone broke my nose while I was having the treatment, and this was a different time to the time that it's most broken. This was just the cartilage bit, a month earlier than it. Ever since then, I can't breathe through my nose naturally. I have to sniff every so often just so I can feel the movement of air. because otherwise I feel really weird that, like, I've not been able to feel the breath through my nose before. And people think that I'm really snotty and say, like, you should go and get a tissue and blow your nose and stuff, because I hate the sound of people snorting snot. And I'm like, for a start, I'm not snorting snot. What you're hearing is air and air only, because there's no fucking phlegm in there, okay? Nothing is in there. I'm just going like, so that occasionally I can actually breathe. And that's quite nice, I think, to be able to breathe occasionally.
Yeah. I had like
Thanks
half
for
of
sniffing
the structures
down
in my
the mic.
sinuses removed surgically.
Hmm. God.
I mean, breathing is very important.
That's how swollen and
I've
stuffy
heard that
my
it's
head
one of the top
is.
things. Yeah. I've heard it's one of the top things of, like, priorities to live is breathing.
I
Like,
don't know. That sounds
It's
like
just
a lot.
it. You know
Yeah,
what?
don't
It's
quote me
really
on that.
shit when you have to
But-
pay. You have to pay to be able to breathe, and I'm like, why do I
Well,
have to
that's
pay
just my
for the privilege
inhalers.
of breathing? Yeah, asthma. And
Well, why do I have
Yeah.
to pay for the privilege of seeing? It's called glasses.
yeah.
I know, it's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Welcome to our Breathing is Important podcast, everybody. Let's move on, I think, back to D&D. This was my own fault. This was my own fault. I took us off the rails, and I am getting us back on those rails again.
Yeah.
Did
I'm
You
gonna
have-
take my medication.
Take your medication! You should have taken it in the morning. It's fucking 8:30 at night.
I took my meds this morning.
Right, Ruby's excused for a couple of minutes while B goes and gets her fucking
Just like
shit
me.
together. Right, everybody else, I guess. Ruby recognizes that this cheese has recently been brought here. Now, Maggie and Arelli both went into the room with the chains in it because they noticed that there were 2 other side doors. And they have each rolled their own perception checks to see what they might hear through the other side of the door. One of them rolled well. Arelli rolled a 23. Maggie rolled a 5. Maggie isn't convinced that there is even a room on the other side of this door. Arelli, on the other hand, is very convinced that this is perfectly fine and is going to step inside. Notices that there is, in fact, just a small 10 by 10 room here. And only notices that there is, like, a chimney stack here. But relays that back to Aldrin and Briar, who are in the next room over. Maggie steps away from this door and is, like, not interested in the fact that there's a door there. You know, doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. What are Aldrin and Briar going to do about this?
I don't know if I even saw them or where they went.
Maggie was here at the door. And you were here in the room with her when she did.
I meant Ruby and
Oh, Ash.
I didn't see where they went.
They went in through the other door. There were 2 doors from the foyer, and they went into the other one.
I mean,
Oh,
Ash,
okay.
Ash shouted that there was cheese, so
Yeah,
I guess you
no,
would
I
have heard
was-
that.
Yeah, you would have heard that echoing through the halls. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay,
grab
so it's
some
up.
cheese and go with the rest of them though.
It's up northish from where I'm at.
Can you see where you're stood on the map?
Yeah.
Okay, they're on the other side of this wall.
And I have to go through the foyer again.
Unless you've got a way to phase through material walls, yes, you've got to walk through the door, Briar.
I just didn't know if there was a door
Bloody
on
hell.
this side over here.
Hole in the floor. Does it open? Does it look like a
So this is
tunnel?
this is the chimney stack that I was explaining. This is a chimney
sorry.
stack.
Does it
You
look
could
like a
give
secret
me
tunnel?
either an investigation check or a perception check to see if you can find something out about this. Arelli will give you the help action, so you can roll it with advantage, whichever you choose.
Woohoo! Yay!
With a dirty 20, 2 things strike you about this on that investigation check. Do you know what chimney stacks are connected to?
Fireplaces.
Yeah. Do you know what there isn't here?
Fireplace.
Yep.
Downstairs.
Seems like there's not a lot of smoke or soot on this thing either. It's a very clean chimney stack. And a chimney stack not connected to any kind of fire either. Weird. Especially one in a room on its own.
Secret tunnel!
Maggie goes through the halls and it completely echoes exactly as Aldrin has just said. Secret tunnel! Exactly as Aldrin has just said. Secret tunnel! Secret tunnel! And then comes back. Isabel's just going to fully go into that room and follow with Maggie. Isabel then sees the door on the left and opens the door on the left. Isabel calls out to you, Aldrin. What does the tunnel look like?
A chimney.
There's one in here too.
2 secret tunnels. 2 secret tunnels. 2 fireplace. 2... Not... Is it sooty?
2 Fast Furious.
2 tacos.
Ruby, Ash, and Briar, you're in the pantry. There is a tunnel somewhere. Not where you are. What would you like to do?
Let's go find that tunnel.
Yeah.
Is
I'm
the
gonna
other
take some
one
teeth.
sooty?
B, are you back? Have you got any medication yet?
E.
E.
I'll just be following folk. Though I actually Ruby will hang on. I can do this myself. I can move my thing.
Yeah, you can.
Ruby is gonna move, and I'm stood up. Sorry, and is then just gonna hang by the door, looking inwards, because there's shackles in there, and this is very triggering for Ruby. She's having many flashbacks, so she's just gonna watch what happens to other people first.
So Aldrin has called out that there's a secret tunnel. Maggie has then walked around to the kitchen area and perfectly mimicked Aldrin's voice so that you could all hear Aldrin saying that there was a secret tunnel. Isabel has then walked in here and gone off into this side door that Maggie had done a poor perception check on. And Maggie was convinced that there wasn't a room here at all and there was a fake door because of the low roll. Isabel just opened the door and we've confirmed now that there are 2 chimney stacks. Neither of which are connected to any flames, and none of them have any soot.
No. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. It's Ruby will just want everyone to tell her exactly what's going on before she wants to go in that room.
Magic chimneys?
Maggie is going to do an insight check on Ruby. Are you trying to hide how you feel about this, Ruby?
I mean, these guys know how Ruby's going to be feeling about shackles and chains, so I don't think it's hidden. She's probably just more embarrassed.
Okay.
In truth.
Maggie comes back to you and holds your hand.
Okay. But Ruby will let Maggie lead her somewhere.
Maggie takes you forward into the room, careful to avoid all of the shackles and chains. And leads you past all of it.
Ruby is not excited.
Towards Aldrin. Then Maggie goes over towards the shackles and chains and moves the shackles and chains from where they are on the ground into like behind the braziers so that they're out of view.
Look, secret tunnels.
Ruby thanks Maggie, but not in a verbal way. In a very non-verbal way.
Maggie is excellent at non-verbal things. So Maggie returns in kind. Ash and Briar, are you headed over here as well, or are you staring at a bed?
Yes, we are. Well, I am at least. I am heading over. I heard Aldrin yell secret tunnel, and I
Nice.
walked back over.
So, yeah, you guys see that the shackles have been moved to one side in here. You don't... Well, at least you don't see them as you enter the room. Because you weren't here to see where Maggie had put them. Ruby is in here, Aurelia is in here, and you are sort of gathered around this one. chimney stack, but then Isabel is also here to one side with another one here as well.
Do I notice that Ruby is having like a reaction to seeing those shackles?
Let's see. Your passive insight beats her passive deception, and as B has said, Ruby's not really hiding it. So yeah, you would see that.
Would an Arcana check on the chimney stacks be of use?
I mean, I can do detect magic.
I think Briar
That
would
might
want
be
to
more
like.
useful.
I think Briar would want to comfort Ruby, knowing that, you know, her history and everything that happened with Leopold, and I just go like, I just say something like, place my hand on Ruby's shoulder and just say something like, they'll never get you again. We'll never let that happen.
And Ruby just turns to Briar and goes, "Thank you, friend. Thank you."
Yeah, we'll melt them first.
You say melt, and I think, Aldrin, you start to notice that your the power that you normally keep in check of like acidity is starting to sort of get a little bit more potent than normal. Like
Hot claws.
your horns and the like points on where your eyebrows would be are getting a little bit sharper, and your claws are starting to sort of grow out a little bit more as well. This has been a new change since you have leveled up.
Cool.
And as you mentioned,
New
melt,
art needed.
I think that you feel like if you put your mind
Melt
to it here,
chimney.
you might be able to get through this chimney stack.
Melt the chimney.
What do you want to do about this chimney stack, Mars?
I'm gonna melt the chimney.
Do it.
That'll be acid.
It will. Acid splash. Hey, man. You realize that this is just
nothing.
This is here as like a flimsy show of a like covering. There's not really much here of any substance, so it doesn't take long for you to melt through it. But you are able to immediately melt a hole big enough that a standard sized humanoid would be able to fit through into this tunnel. And yes, it is in fact a secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
Hence why I shit a brick earlier when you got 2 nat 1s on advantage. God, we can't rely on anybody to roll above a fucking 10, can we? Apparently.
Nope, not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today, Satan. I think while you're melting that one,
Hey, Bianca.
Isabel is going to roll to hit with the Vorpal Great Axe and gets a nat 20.
Wow, Isabel's the one leading the charge here with rolls.
Yeah, so we're gonna hit crit damage, which is going to, as the Vorpal Great Axe has this ability that if you crit on a creature, then when you hit with an attack roll, then you have the chance of beheading them and killing them in one go. And I think that stands true with this this chimney stack, that as she just brings the axe through it, Ash, as you walk past, you just see this like very deft, very like effortless swing as it's like the stonework and the masonry and the metal in this chimney stack, like it doesn't look like it's even moved a little bit, like one of those, like a katana strike in anime, and then suddenly, like, it starts to crumble and shift and just falls over by itself.
I just look at Isabel and I'm like, remind me not to make you mad.
No, Ash. Specifically, do make me mad. That's kind of my whole deal.
I don't want that aimed at me.
No, that's fine. Isabel just starts to sort of like grab some of the rubble. Would you mind helping me with this, Ash? And starts shifting it over.
Yeah, I'll help.
Right. what do you guys look for at this point? I assume that you'll be wanting to do some kind of a check before just diving headfirst into this thing. So get them out now.
So is there a ladder or anything on these grates that we opened up?
Yes.
On the inside of the hole?
Yes. There's like it's like a rusty, long, like a wrought iron kind of a ladder, but it's got like wooden rungs, so that anything that might be allergic to metal, say like a druid, wouldn't be affected by it and would still be able to walk on it. So it's like metal at the sides and wooden bits in the middle. But that means that because it's been used so much, that a lot of this wood is worn thin and it's like got like, you know, splinters sticking out and cracks through it and stuff. Like this has seen a lot of use. And that would make sense to Ruby, who saw just honestly hundreds, possibly thousands of people coming this way through the tracks. And the fact that that cheese was so recent that probably somebody fled through here relatively, like, not that long ago. Probably within the last few hours.
I'm going to pick up a little piece of the rubble and I'm going to throw it down to kind of hear how far it falls and see if anybody or anything reacts to the sound.
Okay. As you throw it, you hear it hit the side. Hit the side. Hit the side. And then a long, pregnant pause before you finally hear in the distance a faint tink as it hits the bottom. This is a deep tunnel.
Okay, I'm going to relay that to the friends in the other room. Hey, it's a long way down.
Yeah, I'm gonna float my way down.
Anyone got any rope?
I think it's in every adventurer's pack, isn't it? I think everyone's got a 60-foot length
Yeah, I
of
think
rope.
we've all got rope, haven't we? Yeah.
This would be
Maybe
a
we'll
lot
just start
deeper than
tying
60
some
feet,
rope
but
then.
yeah.
Well. Alright, maybe I won't do that.
Well, there is the ladder. There is the ladder, but you would be holding on to the ladder.
Oh, sorry, I forgot you. I completely forgot you said there was a ladder. Don't mind me.
Yeah.
Can I cast detect magic? Do you mind?
I don't mind.
That's right, then I'm casting it. There we go.
Just some like faint illusory magic over the like if somebody was here trying to figure out what these were, that it would look like they were chimney stacks, when in actual fact they are just full-on doors. But as you have like melted through and cleaved through, they are becoming more and more like that, and the illusion's starting to fade. But yeah, like whoever laid these illusions here, they were clearly no artificer or sorcerer, because the illusions are not staying here permanently. They're sort of fading over time.
Sure.
I think at this point, Aureli's just going to climb down. And Maggie's going to follow.
Aldrin's just floating down.
Okay.
Aldrin can float one other person if somebody else want to float down, but...
I think that would probably be very useful for Briar, since I have such clunky armor and horrible stealth.
It's
Good call.
with Aldrin.
How big is the tunnel, like, width, I guess, the radius?
5 feet?
Like, would my wings be in the way?
You would not be able to fly here, no. You would not be able to fly here. If you're a 5 foot tall creature, then your wingspan is going to be way bigger than 5 feet. So you wouldn't be able to fly down, no.
Okay, well, in that case, I am going to turn into a tiny bird. Or, no, I'm going to turn into a bat and fly down.
Wow. A bat? A bat of all things.
Yeah.
Bats are notoriously difficult at flying in any different direction.
I'm just saying it's dark and I can use echolocation to make my way down.
Right. Okay. I just think it's a hilarious choice, that's all. I think you probably would have been better if you'd been like a a creepy crawly crawling on the walls, but if
No,
you
I
wanna
don't want to. Ew.
if you wanna fly in a tiny space as a bat, then I think you might be
Be
worse
a
for wear when you hit the bottom.
dragonfly.
But yeah, you all head your way down. We're just gonna maintain the distance that everybody's standing,
Flying
and you
forward.
head
Have they-
down towards the bottom of this area. You
Mhm.
arrive in
Mhm.
an underground city. You can see that there is like a deep like void below you that goes on a little deeper until it hits deeper ground that's clearly unlit below you, the cave depths. But on these raised platforms, you start off here where there's like a hot springs. There's like a pool of water that recirculates itself. It looks like it goes down through like a waterfall here. But there's nowhere for it to go and no water to come back out, so it just recirculates its way back up. And around you, you can see all of these like luminescent mushrooms and fungi all over the place. Anyone who wants to can give me a perception check at this point.
Mhm.
I'm gonna unshape because I don't know what a perception check of a bat is. So
Oh, I mean, I could bring up the thing for you. Here. There's a bat. Tiny, tiny little bat. Here, let me move it here. You see this bat? See this bat here?
vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, you see this bat
So
doing
cute.
a little spin? It's a tiny, tiny little
Yeah,
bat.
yeah.
Okay,
It's bigger than the cat was, though.
it has a +1 to its perception.
Okay, so
The
let me
bat
re-roll
bigger
it.
than the cat.
No re-rolls, we just changed the modifier.
So 14.
So so it would be a 14, yeah, for sure. So as a bat, you you get a 14 on your perception. Are you turning into ash to do this first?
Yeah, I was gonna turn back into ash before I did it.
Fine, then you do get the dirty 20. Ruby and Ash, you get to see that there is no sign of life here, but that there are definite signs that people were recently here. And that this place is definitely a little bit more sort of ramshackle than what you've seen before. Here you can see that there is an enormous, like a stone, what's the word? Hang on a minute. There's walls here where there shouldn't be walls. Let me just remove these walls so you can just see the whole place, because this is ridiculous. Jesus Christ, if you could see what I can see now. This is fucking insane. These should not be walls. Right, there you go. Now you can see it. So here you can see that there is like an enormous statue of a giant, like it's almost like a black dragon. Like there's a huge scaly tail coming down. There's big leather wings. There's huge horns, but the definite like scale typing and like snout and the look of the mouth, the maw of this dragon looks definitely like the kind that would be spewing acid. And this thing is like statuesque and is stood proudly on top of what looks like a statue of spoils as well. Beyond, you can see that there is what looks like an amphitheater. That around here, it looks like there's like a deep trench cut away and like a speaking spot where there's places for people to sit around and talk with each other. Further north, you can see that it's like a district of like small places for people to live and work and stay, but clearly nothing that is any kind of permanent sort of basis. And then further still, you see that there is a further section that looks like it goes off into some other kind of area, like either a secure desk area, you know, like a study for a scientist, or maybe it's an atelier for an artist, or maybe it's a meeting place. But it looks like it's an enormous building, basically, that's built of like found pieces of rock, all just sort of held together with iron holding the pieces, much like it was with the ladder. And then over here, you see that there are other things that you would have to get closer to be able to investigate. But with the dirty 21 and 20, you are able to see those two, Ruby and Ash. Isabel will also do a perception check just for clarity's sake. And then Maggie will do one as well. Maggie gets a +0. And Aurelie gets a +6. Wow, Aurelie gets a 25. Okay. So Aurelie is going to stealth, try and just like hide and run over this way. What are you guys doing? Aurelie's run away from you.
Statue. Dragon.
I'm gonna run too, I guess.
Ruby's not going to run. Ruby is just going to walk at a normal pace, taking in as much as she can.
Maggie continues on behind. Maggie didn't really see anything, so Maggie isn't all that excited. Isabel is going to follow with Maggie. So Ash, you are following where Aurelie went?
Yeah, trying to.
Alright, what's your passive perception? You have a 17, so you meet her stealth roll, and you're able to see where she ran. You can follow closely behind. Ruby and Aldrin. Aldrin, you're staying by the statue, and Ruby, you're not following behind, are you? You're sort of going slow at your own pace. Briar, what are you doing in this area?
What was my perception again? It was 11. I think I would be sticking with the other guys and just kind of following them because my perception wasn't that great, so I feel like I would be a little out of sorts.
Yeah. Maggie and Isabel sort of squidge past Ruby and head over towards this amphitheater place just to sort of check out what it is. Ruby, you were saying, sorry?
Yeah, my Ash is all the way up there.
Essentially, yes, it's really not important. As Ruby is sort of going through, obviously had the original perception check, but I guess is, given that this place seems to not have any signs of life, yet it feels very evident that people have been here, is going to be trying to find more footsteps, more indicators, anything of where the people have gone who clearly came in here.
Right. So signs of life, basically.
Yep.
You definitely see that a lot of people sort of head over this way and make their way to the amphitheater, but from there you'll need to sort of make further checks because it seems like that's where the vast majority of footsteps go. But from here it's sort of vague as to like tracking purposes, right? Because this is quite far down, and by this point most of the dirt would have come off their feet. They'd be just tracking the same dirt into this area as what's already here. So it's hard to track beyond this point. You would need to do another check. But you're free to do that.
Yeah.
Well,
check do you like? Would you like a survival check?
Yeah, you give me a survival check. I'd say at disadvantage, though, because you're not used to, like, underground tunnel systems. So this would be against your better advantage and knowledge. With a 9, you're able to see that people have made it here to this amphitheater. To your best estimate, you couldn't be sure what sort of manner they got here. As in, whether they were forced, whether they were coerced, whether they came here of their own volition. It didn't seem like anybody was being coerced before, but there were thousands of footsteps there in the dirt above. So it's hard to know exactly what was going on with those. But, like, here, now, you are not blinded by the fact that there are thousands of footsteps. You're blinded by the fact that you just simply don't know that much about tracking in a cave system to be able to tell for sure. Now, Ash, you catch up with Aurelie. Aurelie
Mhm.
has made her way over to what seems like almost like the door to a mausoleum. But when opening the door, it's not a mausoleum. It is something else inside. And I am going to ask you now, are you going to step any closer?
Just maybe one square close.
Okay. As you get closer, you can see that what Aurelie has found is a desk. That this is like a small desk that was made of like pieced together like slats of wood. You can tell that this whole place is a patchwork, and it must be because you either find the rock here, you produce it by magic, or it has to fit down a very long, narrow tunnel. So everything in here is made of tiny pieces, or it's made of stone. And this particular desk was clearly one that was brought by pieces of wood held together down a long tunnel because of all the scuff marks along the sides of it. But it's also been here for a very long time. Like you can see, like the rot of the cold, dank air, like seeping into this wood and making it go like sort of even mushy on the corners and stuff, from its dampness. But there are scratches on the sides of the desk. There are like little absent notes written into the wood of it, and there's like parchments that have been scattered and blown away that have sort of like caught under the legs of it. Um, because there's not a lot of wind down here, but the moment that a breeze takes, you're kind of taken by surprise. So at this point, I'm going to ask: do you want to get any further in? Do you want to investigate anything? Do you want to make any checks?
First, I just want to get her attention gently and just be like, "Really? What's this?"
Aurelie turns to you, and at this point, you hadn't seen Aurelie face you. She'd been like, you realize now that you've only just noticed that she's stopped breathing. She hasn't been breathing while she's been stood here. And the moment that your heart starts to race and you feel that like sink in your chest of what's happened to Aurelie, is this Aurelie? Because you've been through so much and you've seen so many undead, that she finally turns to you and you see what she's holding in her hand. It's not a blade. It's not a piece of paper. It's a feather. And it's a feather that looks remarkably similar to your own crest. I saw this when we were over where we came down from the tunnels.
You saw it all the way over here?
I've got very good eyes. This is...
Why does...
It's... Everything in here is dirty and black and dark. There's hardly any light. How does something this brilliant coloured get down here? And why does it look exactly like your feathers?
I don't have an answer.
Do you
I
recognize
have...
what this says here? I don't speak the language, but I think I recognize that this is Aarakocra. And she points towards some scratches in the desk.
Wait, can I read it?
Yeah, it is Aarakocra. She was right.
What does it say?
She steps out of the way and you step in closer.
Good thing I can see in darkness.
You can see in darkness. But, even seeing in darkness, you would still have to get close to something written small. As you get closer to this desk, you can finally see that there is a poem scratched into this desk. Do you want it to be read?
Absolutely.
Eyes smouldering, cold, storied rage. Darkness urging, twisting the knife. Forced friends weave their own cage. Feather fall, blood spill, wasted life. And at the end, there is a little X.
Oh man, I wish I was good at poetry. I don't understand what this means. Do you have any idea, really?
I don't speak Aarakocra.
No, I was gonna read it to Aurelie as
Oh,
well.
could you read it out loud? Yeah. So then
Yeah.
you read that out loud. So then Aurelie is like asks you to repeat it. So the words again.
Mhm.
I'll put this into the chat so that you can
Thank
see.
you.
So you
It's like,
repeat these
look, I'm
words. Eyes smouldering, cold, storied rage. Darkness urging, twisting the knife. Forced friends weave their own cage. Featherfall, blood spill, wasted life. And then an X at the end of it.
yeah, I'm not really sure of the symbolism of this. Like I grew up in the woods by myself. I don't know how to read into this. What do you think, Corelli?
But have you ever been down here?
No.
Then how is a feather exactly like yours here? And
Unless it
why
was my
is...
father.
What was your father's name?
That's a really good question, DM. Let me double check.
Does it start with an
Poop.
X?
Hold on. I believe so, yeah. I don't remember what I sent you, honestly.
I think that you would remember your dad's name, so I'll let you have this one as a free pass. It was
Yes,
Xander.
that
Xander with an X, yes.
yeah, his name is Xander.
I think that your dad was here.
Gross. I'm nothing like him.
But this doesn't... Those words don't sound like something written by someone who's had a great life. Sounds like a torture victim. Twisting the knife? Weaving their own cage? What happened to him?
I don't know. When my mom died, he tried to make me like him, and I hated it. So I left.
Maybe he left too. What? How old were you?
Oh, I was maybe 4, 5. I was very young.
I mean, listen, Ash, it's just us two here. You can trust me. Are you certain that you've remembered that right? You were only 4 years old.
I just know that I think he's the reason that my mom died. So why would I want to do any? Why would I want anything to do with him?
I get that. I do. But I'm not sure that the story is as straightforward as what you might think it is.
I mean, I've hated him for this long.
Well, by the looks of it, he was trapped on an island and unable to leave.
Like the island we just left.
Well, we're underneath the island. This is a tunnel underneath Gorizont.
Yeah, I know, but how did he make it here from
Hey,
where I was?
I don't know, but it seems like he might have been here for a while, judging by this desk. How old are you?
I'm in my 20s.
It's a long time to go without a father, but who's to say how long he's been here for? Judging by the damp on the edges of this desk, and she takes out one of her daggers and like pokes it, and you can see that the desk just like falls apart at that bit. Judging by this, I think the desk has been here as long as he has, and the desk is fucking awful.
Yeah, but wouldn't he be long gone by now?
I don't think anybody is here. It looks like everybody is long gone. The impression I got was that
we don't live
there was a
very
lot
long
of people who came here.
compared to, regular non-aristocrats.
Then he may not have long left. If his story is as straightforward as you remember it, then you won't have long to get closure with him, I guess. But if it's more complicated than that, maybe he's the only person who can set the record straight for you. Look, it's none of my business. I only really met you like a few weeks ago. I get that this is going to be hard for you. But those words aren't written by somebody inherently evil. They're written by someone who's been under the boot of evil. And if he's not got long left before his time comes, wouldn't you want to know for sure what happened? Wasn't your dream to find him in the first place?
It's mixed feelings on that.
I get that. I get that. And
Like,
this
I
is
feel
hard.
like I have to, but do I want to?
Yeah. I know.
I don't have an answer for that.
Well, here's my 2 gold pieces. You're
giving me money
own.
now? Why?
It's a metaphor, Ash. We say things sometimes that we mean in place of other things. What I mean is, here's my opinion. Yes, here's my opinion. But you can have 2 do you need 2 gold pieces? I'll give you 2 gold pieces.
No, I don't. That's why I was confused.
She reaches into her pack and gets 2 gold pieces out and gives you 2 gold pieces. Here, look, take it. and the feather as well. She gives you the feather with the gold pieces.
Okay.
Look,
I take them.
I just... By the way, you owe me some cheese the next time that we eat.
All right, I got you.
Take that as payment for cheese. No one gets free money off me. You owe me cheese. Look, here's my opinion. My 2 gold pieces. I just think that before now, you were on your own in a forest that you grew up in on your own from 4 years old.
Yeah.
With no parents to guide you. And you've only wanted to reach out and be a part of the world and be with other people. I think that now that you've got all of us, and Aurelie points over towards where Maggie and Isabel are doing like a mock play for the others in the amphitheater. And Maggie is just literally repeating every word that Isabel says. So it's a really one-sided play. But Aurelie, yeah, Aurelie says like, look, maybe we should go and meet the others, but you've got us with you. Whatever difficulty this might have for you, we can share the burden. We can help. We can carry you through this. And I know that it's going to feel hard, and you're going to have questions, and you're going to worry over what might happen. But isn't it better to know than to not? Anyway, it was just my opinion, and you can take it or leave it. I don't have any horse in this race. I mean, look, that was a metaphor again.
Okay.
We're not racing horses, okay?
I mean, I could turn into a horse if that's what you were wanting me to do.
No, don't turn into a horse. It wouldn't help.
I will not.
It's damp stone. You'll fall into that pit, okay? Just look.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have any onus in any of this part of your life. How does that? That's what that metaphor means, okay? Look, I just don't. I wouldn't want a good friend to go through hurt without having someone there to help. and we're all here to help. And you're a good friend. If you can accept that, then we can help you get through this and find him. He might still be in the tunnel system. We don't know how far this goes.
That cheese was pretty fresh. By the way, do you want a piece of this?
She hasn't eaten in like 2 days, so she immediately grabs whatever it was that you were going to bring out of your hand, like before you've even opened your palm, and she just snatches it from you and throws it in her mouth. Oh, what was that?
Is it good cheese?
Oh, it's cheese! And she's like chewing, like through the. Oh, it's cheese! Oh, yeah, I can taste it now. And now Aurelie is gonna head back. Look, Ash, as she swallows, Ash, if you want to stay and like make a note of what that says, that's cool. If you want me to break part of the wood off so you can carry it with you, that's also cool. But I'm gonna head back over to the others, and
I think I'll take a rubbing of it.
Cool. She gets out some parchment from out of her bag and hands it to you. I don't have any like charcoal, but to be honest, this place looks that dirty that it looks like you could just break off a stone and it would probably work as charcoal. I'll see you over at the amphitheater with the others.
I'll join you in a moment.
Cool. Take care of yourself, Ash, okay? I'll see you in a bit. And she heads back over to the amphitheater. At this point, Isabel and Maggie have been doing back and forth play for Ruby. And I don't know, has Aldrin and Briar joined?
Aldrin's been looking at that dragon statue, seeing if there's any runes or anything on it that would give them any information as to perhaps who this dragon is.
Okay. And Briar?
I'd probably stick here with Aldrin and then make sure that they're all right on their own, and then wander in to, I guess, find them having a play.
Yeah. In the continuing with the play.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aldrin, give me either. Well, you could do with both actually. An investigation and a perception check. Let's go perception. We'll go perception first.
Perception.
8.
Investigation.
16. So with the 8, you don't really see any great like there's not a great deal about this statue that you could tell just by looking at it, because it's so dark, and like even the stone itself is hewn from such a dark piece of stone, like geologically speaking. But then you also can see that there's pieces missing from it. So like usually whenever a dragon is depicted in stone, the tradition, the culture around dragon statues is often to depict the lineage as well. But this seems like there were pieces here that have been removed. And that there's like spaces where there should be the parentage and the offspring. And they're not here. With the investigation, you also can tell that there's some of the lettering has been chipped away from here, like it's been like cracked at with a hammer or something, and just completely brutalized. And you can see that there is an A, an R, and a Z in like the Draconic language that's been like hammered in properly, but then it's been broken apart where most of the word has gone, and it's just those letters are the only ones that are legible.
Okay. Aldrin's gonna write all that down on a piece of parchment, just taking notes of it and keeping track of it.
Cool.
And then
you could give me a history check if you wanted.
Yeah. I was trying to think if it would be history or something.
Oh, snap. Well, with a
I
dirty
rolled.
21, that you are not certain. You're not even like 90% sure, but you know, you've got a fairly decent chance that this once said Thandrazim.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I know that name. That's my name. Interesting. Aldrin's gonna take another look at that family tree portion of the
Mm-hmm.
section and take the imprint sketch
Mm-hmm.
of it or something.
So
Just to
what it
keep
looks like
that
is that,
info with them as well.
yeah. So there's often like by the heraldry and the tradition of this kind of place, you can see that there's like of Alandressa as a whole, which is what I mean by this place.
Yeah.
That like whenever dragons are depicted in the traditional sense, they are depicted as like stood over a horde. And they are depicted with their names sort of emblazoned underneath their like left foot. And they have on the one side their parentage in like miniatures, and then on the other side they have their partner, like their life partner, in a miniature, and then in the center at front, directly underneath them, beneath where their name is, that's where you see the lineage, the offspring, and all of those are sort of like vacant, like they've been. Like there's like remnants of like feet still there, so it looks like they were there, but they were broken off, and then the whole like name was defaced somehow. But there are other spaces alongside where your statuette would be, where other statuettes would be in a place.
Okay. Aldrin's gonna just sort of like touch that spot on the statue where those little figures are supposed to be and count how many are missing. And then like sort of walk around the statue one more time, give it a cursory glance over again, and then continue on to the theater where the others are. While thinking about the statue.
You make your notes, and I think that there are more spaces there than you were accounting for. More than you were aware of.
Okay.
As you put your hand to it, we'll continue with the same investigation roll of 16. You notice that many of these spots were not chiseled away completely, that in some parts they needed to be eased away somehow else, and you could almost be certain that some parts of this were melted by acid.
Interesting. I wonder where these little statues would come from in the first place. Who made them?
That's a good question.
Wondering. Good question, and nobody has an answer for. Till I find someone with an answer.
Yup.
All these questions and not an answer in sight.
Right?
Water all
everywhere,
around.
but not a drop to
Not
drink.
a drop to drink. There we are. Fucking
brain.
twins, same brain.
Okay, swear, man. Same person, opposite sides of the world.
Same soul, two bodies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you gather all of that sort of evidence. It seems like you've got a lot to be thinking about here, particularly in regards to your family. This is your name. You would have been a statuette here, but you and a bunch of others are not here anymore. And it's curious that the parents aren't there, and the life partner is also not there.
Okay.
I'm going to ask, has Ash returned to the group yet at the
No.
thing? Are you still over by
Ash
the
got
desk?
distracted. Ash got distracted by the big shiny thing up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So Ash was going to do a perception check on it to try to
that
figure
is a
out
big
what it
shiny
is.
thing. You do your perception check. I'm going to check in with Briar and Ruby. What are you guys up to?
I think getting probably very confused slash bored as a very one-sided play.
Yes, I think that Isabel is also probably getting quite bored of it and has just sort of stopped
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah, Ruby will not necessarily with the others. If they want to, they can join. But just continue wandering around trying to find more clues of where people are, where they've gone.
Okay. Well, there's only really one way away from this part, and that is to go north. That's where everything else sort of branches off into all of its different places. So it's up to you where you would go from sort of up here.
Bear with as my mouse is acting up. Bear with me.
I can move
Problem of
Ruby
having an
for you
ergonomic
if you want.
mouse.
Do you want me to move Ruby for you?
Oh, I want to go in the right place, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Now Foundry's reloading. Bear with me.
Yeah, it's cool. I think it must have been
Sorry, you
like
probably see
an
me flash
inactivity
out.
thing. Yeah, because it looked like
Yeah.
you logged out like 10 minutes ago. So yeah,
Oh, that'll be why then.
yeah, you
That'll be why
weren't
my
showing
mouse
up as the
didn't work.
players thing. Mm.
That'll be why I couldn't drag anyone. I will just go up towards this dome.
There
Here
we
I
go.
am.
Cool. So Ash was doing a perception check. Ruby, you're right up close. So I'll give you a perception check with advantage because you are stood directly in front of it.
Oh, bear with me because everything's reset.
21. Very good. This is not any kind of contraption that you are familiar with. It's not something that you've seen before, but it seems like some level of technology beyond your understanding. But with your perception check, you can at least tell that it's some kind of pipe system. But you could not be certain exactly what its purpose is. Besides, it looks like, as you look through the pipe, it looks like it goes on for a very long way because it gets incredibly dark down there. But it is going off sort of laterally, so it's going horizontally. And down here, you have no stars or sun to go by, so you couldn't be sure which direction it's going in. But it's certainly going off in a direction, away from here. If you had to be held to it, you might be forgiven for thinking that this might be the way out.
Okay, thank you. I would like to knock on it just to sort of work out if it's like hollow or something.
Okay, yeah. Give it a good knock.
You said it's a pipe, so I'm assuming it is, but I want to knock on it. Knock, knock, knock.
The echoes of that knock reverberate through the whole place. Everybody can feel this, like, rumbling, like this fine vibration in their feet. Especially Ash, who is very close to it. And you, Ruby, can feel the ground, like, tremulous, like, underneath you. Like, it's hard to stand still. And it gradually, through its resonating, like, hum, calms down, but only over a very long time, like minutes go by before it calms. As if this is an incredibly large structure, and it seems to be mostly made of metal. If not entirely.
Okay. I mean, like you said, it's clearly of a technology that Ruby's not familiar with, so not sure she'll know a huge amount to do, and detect magic will have run out by now. So, yeah.
You could cast
Can
it
I
again.
see Ash from where I am? Oh, can I? Oh, I think it's a once per day thing because it's part of my.
Oh, is it one of your things? Oh, right.
Yeah, it's one of my innate spell casting, so I actually think I
'Cause
can only do
you're
it
a-
once per day.
Because you're a fucking warlock.
Sauce man,
Yeah. Yeah, you're a wonk.
I am a wonk. Oh, a Morlock or Moron, one of the two. Can Ruby see Ash from where?
Yeah.
We
You'd
stood?
see Ash. Ash
Yeah.
is just over from the bridge. Ash is, like, doing their own check. Ash, from where you are, you can see that this is some kind of large metal structure. It's on multiple levels. It looks like the levels have been built around it partly to support it, but also partly to get access to different levels of it for, like, maintenance and stuff. But again,
Okay.
you aren't sure what this technology is, but it certainly looks like it is a mechanical kind of technology.
All Ash knows is that everything around them is dark and dreary, and there's only fire, and then there was this shiny purple bluish thing, and they wanted to know what it was.
Oh, this thing.
Yes.
I thought when you
like,
said shiny thing that you meant the shiny thing, not the glowy
No.
thing. Okay,
I
so
mean,
the
it's
glowy thing.
sparkly. Yeah, sorry, this.
Okay, so that looks like it is some kind of a power source.
Okay. I'm curious what it powers. But I don't want to touch it and mess anything up. So I'm just going to come and join Ruby.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else wanting to do any more checks? Because we're getting up to the end of the session time now. We've overrun anyway because people were late. But does anybody have anything pressing that they want to do before we end the session, or are you ready to end it? Ash, you fall flat on your face right next to Ruby. And that's embarrassing because you can fly. Ruby, you
Get up
fall
and
flat
brush
on your
myself.
face next to Ash.
Ruby also does the same.
Yeah. So
Well,
the
it's
two
really
of you have...
intended.
Yeah,
Ruby-
the two of you
Ruby
have face
stands up.
planted.
Yeah, but Ruby stands up and just
Oh,
that
yeah.
was completely intentional. Never, no cat ever is clumsy without it being perfectly intentional. I just wanted
was
Ash
just-
to not feel bad.
I just wanted you to do a backflip like you. It looks so fun.
Well, I was
Briar's
just trying to
gonna
do a
walk
backflip
over.
like you.
What did Briar say?
You-
Briar's gonna walk over and just see you both face down on the floor and be like, "Why are you guys napping?"
Because we're tired. Aren't you tired?
Yeah, but this doesn't really look like a good place to nap.
Hey, Briar, do you know what this thing is behind us?
Should I do a perception check for that?
I would say at this point you've perceived as much as you can perceive. I would give you more of a history or let's have a look at what the other options would be. It would be history or it would be investigation. Those are your two
Do a
options.
history. Nope, don't know shit.
Yeah, you sort of you recall seeing things like this in sketches, like scattered through the cleric, like colleges and schools, but only ever as like concept drawings, and you never really knew exactly what they were. So although you do have an idea that this is a thing, that's really as far as it goes. It's just, oh, yeah, I think I saw a thing like this doodled one time. I don't know what it does. That's sort of what that 7 gets you.
I will relay that, and for brevity's sake, since I know we're ending the session, I will not roleplay that. But,
You're not going to
I
roll.
let them
Okay.
know that
Oh.
I've seen sketches.
All right.
Sketch.
I think Mars was be right back.
You're back.
Welcome back. The others have moved up towards the big ball thing at the top to investigate it. It's up to you if you want to. You've got this moment now to decide what you want to check. I'll give you one check. It's some kind of mechanical large thing. It's tubular. It looks like it might be a machine. Nobody knows what it is or what it does, but it's huge. And Ruby has knocked on it. Seems like it's big because it resonated the ground underneath everybody through the entire cavern.
Also, there's a power source over across the way.
That is useful information. With that information, I will give Aldrin advantage on your next check to figure out what
Hey.
this thing is. Aldrin, you can do either an investigation or what was the other option that I gave? A history check.
Yeah.
I had the same boost. And
Advantage.
investigation, he said I got advantage.
Yep.
Why am I rolling?
Well, it's more than what we knew.
today?
Yeah, I think that you have probably also seen like drawings of this around, but it's hard to really get out and travel the world that much when, you know, like all of this kind of thing would be a relatively new technology, and you have traveled, but not in like the last recent years. So seeing all of this through a jungle perspective and living in the jungle swamps, it's kind of like, yeah, you've seen ideas like this, but you wouldn't have any clue what they pertain to or what this thing could do. But it certainly seems like it might be an escape.
Contraptions.
It might certainly be an escape. But you are right that there is a power source over there, and it's a big power source. And you've not seen anything so far that requires power, besides this big metal thing. So, like, everything else is torches, and torches just need either magic or fuel, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you're at with it.
Okay, and that was my one check. I can't do another. Or
just for the sake of the end of the session, because we're at like 1:30 now, and
gotcha.
normally we finish on the hour. That's all.
No
And you know, people need to go places. That's all. Then that's where we're going to end the session. Thank you,
Wait, I
everybody.
want to say one thing before we end. Aurelie found a feather that might have belonged to my father.
Down
I
here?
thought he was gone.
I pull it out.
So Ruby, Briar, and Aldrin, you can all see that this feather, if you weren't told that it was from some other source, you could be certain
Looks
that
like
this came out
you.
of Ash's own head. That this is an exact copy of Ash's crest.
Are you
This
sure
is-
you didn't drop one of yours?
It's not mine. I've never been down here before.
Oh, it was here already. Oh,
Aurelie found it. That's where
that's
she
like
ran
that
off to.
statue over there.
What's the statue?
Big old dragon. I think it's got my name on it.
It's funny because there's also this poem that was etched into the desk. I'm gonna read it to them. Like, they can scroll up and read it.
Yeah.
And it
I'll
was
read it again
timed
out
with-
loud.
Okay.
Eyes smoldering, cold, storied rage. Darkness urging, twisting the knife. Forced friends weave their own cage. Feather fall, blood spill, wasted life.
And it's signed with my father's first initial.
X for Xander.
Interesting.
I don't know what that means.
It is now in the tavern.
Yay!
Thank you.
And that's where I wanted to end it. Tell everybody what happened.
Cool. At this point, the rest of them have joined you as well, and Maggie has been satisfied to stop doing the damn play. I think Isabel was probably starting to rage just a little bit.
Aldrin in true fashion would info dump about everything that they've found.
Yes. The partial name being there, but defaced. The large statue being there, with the parentage and the life partner and the children being removed from the statue as well. Yeah. Typical sort of dragon heraldry. Which is what leads me to the name of this place. This is called Herald Coven. And the place above was called Herald Reach. So, now that you've gotten a little bit more information about the world, Let's recount what's happened today. You went, you sorted out a bunch of people's boo-boos, as Briar said. You have mended people's homes, put out fires, calmed the masses. Briar has considered maybe a change of name, even like a nickname, like an adventurer title, to step away from the Dawnheart legacy. Aldrin has found a name, and Ash has also found a name. Seems like everybody's considering their families today. Ruby, being a person who found family and that was the dream fulfilled, is now seeing all of the rest of you finding steps towards your own family. And maybe that could be a good thing, maybe not. But we'll wait and see. Apart from that, you found your way into a secret tunnel through an escape fortress. You have found a mystery machine, not complete with Scooby Snacks. It's unfortunate for me to have to break it to you. And Ash and Ruby have both face planted in front of each other, solidifying their bond as the crazy animal folk of the group. Also, Aldrin noticing some physical changes in the horns and the scales and the claws, and a little bit more potency potentially lurking around the corner for Aldrin. But we'll wait and see where that goes. So, I think that's a good place to end, does any?
Yeah.
Anyone got any burning desire to say or do anything? Not in character because the game is now over, but anything that you want to say or do? Booba. Okay, great.
Happy Mother's Day upcoming Sunday to everybody. Whether you are a pet parent or know a mother, you know.
Well, B,
Or
B's a cat mom, but we've already had Mother's Day in the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well,
It's the
I'm a
American...
dog mom.
I'm a mom of cats,
I have
dogs,
a
and
plant.
humans.
I'm a dungeon master, so really I'm a dungeon mom.
No,
You're my grandmother.
I am your grandmother. You're my
Hi,
grandson.
Mama.
I am B's grandmother, and B is my grandson. And I am Ash's father.
Yeah.
So, but does this mean that...
This is incredibly strangely incestuous.
Yeah, so is Ash... Wait, not Ash. Is Tats...
Help.
Is
What?
Tats B's mother or aunt?
Mom.
I'll be
I
your
really
mom.
feel like that's up to Tats, not me. See, Tats is my mum. There you go.
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
this
Alright,
a on
alright,
my
alright.
own grandpa situation?
Yeah.
I mean, it
My
is
mom's
now.
older than my grandmother.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean...
I'm adopted.
Okay.
Tats is...
I was confused a second.
Tats is a... Tats is a little bit older than me. But, not by a lot. But, you know,
Grandpa.
that's crazy that I am Ash's... not Ash. I keep... When we listen, when we get into D&D, all names go out of the window, and I immediately switch off that part of my brain that remembers what your real world names are, because I have to recall who you are as characters, and that's why I have your names on your tokens, so that I can remember who the fuck you are. I don't care about the fucking viewers. I want to know whose token is which. So I remember your names by looking at them, and after 2.5 hours of saying Ash, yeah, you know what? When I go to say about Tats, I'm probably going to say Ash. So that's just something that you're going to have to get over, okay?
Are you okay?
You know what?
I love you, Jackal.
Do you know what? Actually, since I've changed to veggie, I've actually been less... Oh, and stopped having the cereal, like with
You
milk.
like spicy?
I have.
Yeah.
I love spicy. I've
Okay.
yeah. Since I've stopped having cereal in the morning with milk, and since I've changed to veggie, my stomach and like IBS, so much better.
Right.
It's only been 3 days. 3 days,
Yeah.
y'all.
Join us.
So
But it's
much
way
better.
better for you. I mean,
Oh,
I
my
eat
God.
chicken because I need the protein to balance out for the gastric bypass. But
Yeah.
like, if I didn't eat it, I probably wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But for protein, steam a block of tofu and put crispy chili oil over the top of it with steamed garlic broccoli. Fabulous.
Sounds like heaven.
The garlic broccoli and the chili has got me, but the tofu,
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about tofu.
I'll be in the
Oh,
corner
I
eating
love
a
it.
burger.
I'd like steam
Mhm.
a whole
Burger.
block of tofu and just set
Burger.
it down in a bowl with the crispy chili oil on the top of it. Oh,
So,
good.
To be honest,
So-
just give me several portions of broccoli and I'm happy. I
Yeah,
want
I
that
actually
portion of,
really like broccoli.
in one meal.
You're a lot like, you've probably got similar food tastes
bag
to
of
my
broccoli.
sister, who by the way, I'm pretty sure that my sister is on the spectrum as well. She's got 2 kids that are. So
Well, I mean, it runs in family.
yeah, and she's definitely been flying under the radar. But yeah, so she used to have just a bowl of what's the word? Brussels sprouts. That was it. Just a bowl of Brussels sprouts would be her. Yeah, that would be her snack. She'd just have that with gravy.
Yum. Ew.
Yeah.
I like
Baby.
Brussels sprouts as
I
long
will
as they're
eat anything
sautéed
with
in
gravy.
I will also
butter.
eat
I
anything with
hate
gravy.
Gravy. Gravy's so gross.
Except for American biscuits and gravy, you won't eat
Nope.
that.
Because that's not biscuits
yeah,
and that's not
English
gravy.
gravy. English gravy.
That's not
Nobody
biscuits
said
and that's not
olive.
gravy.
Bruh.
What you're
I
saying
said
is
American
savory
biscuits and gravy.
savory scones and white sauce is what you just said.
It's a
What?
sausage milk gravy.
Right, so
You make a roux out of
sausage,
the sausage with flour and then
sausage.
you add milk.
That sounds
Death
disgusting,
on
but
a
also
plate.
really new.
That sounds awful for a beginning, and also sausage. No, I can't eat sausage. So
Yeah, and also sausage
on a
milk.
plate.
Sausage. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I can't get past the phrase sausage milk gravy.
Yeah, sausage milk.
That sounds gross and lewd.
sausage milk sounds
I
incredibly
mean, we
lewd.
call it like almond milk and cashew milk because nobody can handle saying nut juice. But we have a sausage milk gravy.
Sausage milk
No
gravy
one also
is
says cow juice.
yeah.
I mean, milk is just nipple juice.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where it's come from, which animal, it's nipple.
But
Yeah.
but that's just it.
Titty
Almond
water.
milk.
Titty water.
Almond milk, cashew milk, they're calling them all milk, but even though they're not milk, and it's only because nobody can handle calling it nut juice.
Okay, but how about this? Mammary secretions.
No.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. So you can't even
but
use
the
the.
only way-
You can't even talk about the
so
fucking
disgusting.
anatomical
Like,
thing.
even if you broke it down to like mammalian, like mammary secretion, it doesn't freaking work because it's still cow milk or human milk, and then it's like just still titty milk.
It's still
I'm
mammary.
deeply
They're still
disturbed.
mammals. There's still a mammary
Like,
gland.
the only way that I
Yeah,
really
I know, but that's my
consume-
point. It's all, they're still both mammals, and it's still a mammary gland, and it's still titty milk.
Can
The
I
only way
just?
that I
Is it a
consume
people
milk
or
is
is it
in
a
sausage, flour,
I'm-
gravy form.
I'm gonna just point out something at this stage of our unhinged conversation. I'm pretty sure that like all of us have got fucking ADHD for the fact that we all went on a tangent about tit juice.
Yeah.
Happy birthday means
Wait,
your
you're
mom got
just
fucked.
now figuring that out?
Shut the fuck up!
Yes.
Shut the fuck up!
I mean, I knew
Happy
that from day
birthday.
one.
I genuinely really am. It's taken me a long fucking time to clock. I might have something.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
how many times has Ruby done a backflip? Like,
Yeah.
Hey, I get distracted.
Hey, it's for horses, better
It's
for cows.
ADHD.
Pigs can't eat it because they don't know how.
I
do you
don't
spin it
know
again?
that I've been stimming for like all my life. It's been a long time.
Oh, in the
Well-
I'm sure you won't mind me saying this, but in the cinema, you were like putting your fingers through your hair, something rapid, and I was like, "Wow, she's really fucking stimming." So I was like, "Well, I mean, if B's stimming, then I feel free to stim as well." So I like stimmed by like stroking my beard, which I've done a long time. I hated it during COVID because I had to shave my beard off to wear the masks in hospitals and stuff. But like, I've 100% grew it back the moment I could. But yeah, I started stimming with my beard, and then I'd feel like, okay, I feel like I can stop stimming now. Like, I feel like I've gotten that out of my system. And then, like, in the corner of my eye, a minute later, B would still be there, like, running fingers furiously through hair, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go back to stimming then. That was that. But, like, the movie, I was just like,
What can I
okay.
say?
Yeah. Also,
I can't sit still and watch a film for 2.5. I don't actually understand how people sit still and don't
Yeah.
move for 2.5
Also,
hours.
can I also just
Genuinely
say,
baffles the shit out of me.
on the subject of, oh no, yeah, no, I shift around in my seat a lot, and I'm always trying to get comfortable and
Constantly.
never
You clearly
can.
gathered, so do I.
Yeah. I definitely,
I
yeah.
sat
You with your
down
legs
with
up
the
and everything.
psychologist, and within 3 minutes, he said, "You just can't stop moving, can you?" And I was just like, "No, I can't. What do you? What?
Yeah,
Oh,
my
yeah.
feet
Sorry, I
bounce.
can try.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
bounce my
it's
knee
not
with my
gonna
feet.
happen."
But then also, while we were in the cinema, I also got an unfortunate salty surprise.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Whoa.
My-
Yeah, you did.
I did. I
Hey-oh.
really did. So I got sweet cinema popcorn, a large bucket of it, and there were pockets of salted popcorn in there, and I hated it. I hated it. Why can't they just make it all sweet? Why do people have to be like haphazard
got
with
pick
where
and
they're
mix.
placing their sweetness?
Should have got pick and mix. Should have got
Eat more
quietly
pineapple.
eaten mini eggs.
I mean, well, this is the thing, right? I avoid eating things that people
What's a
I'm going to
mini
see
egg?
regularly are allergic to.
That's
Because
another
I'm
question.
worried
What's a
that I'm
mini
gonna
egg?
like my saliva or my breath or my burps or whatever will trigger an anaphylaxis, and I'll feel fucking awful if my friend dies because I burped on them with the wrong kind of burp. So I'm just never gonna eat that again, which is why I don't eat nuts anymore, even though I fucking adore nuts.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I know. But then when
Mini
you said
eggs.
that you got mini eggs, I was like, oh my god, I can eat mini eggs? Oh, I love mini eggs! Oh my god, I'm gonna go back to
Wow.
eating mini
They
eggs.
don't have nuts in.
I don't know. I know that they don't have nuts in, but I also avoid the things that may contain traces of nuts because you never
Right,
can be
if you
sure.
avoid everything that says may contain, you'd never eat anything.
Yeah.
Like, if I did that, I'd
Hello,
eat sweet
hello,
tiny
welcome to
Adams.
my life. Hello. I don't eat anything. This turning
Hello.
vegetarian has been the biggest upset to my dietary routine that I've ever had before. I am
I'm
now
allergic
actually
to
eating new
milk.
things that I've never
gonna
eaten
say,
before.
like, I was gonna say, you're speaking to the wrong people
To
here. I've had
milk.
my allergist said, don't be vegetarian. Your allergies are too bad. And I went, fuck you. And I've been vegetarian for 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, man. Damn fucking straight. You tell a bitch.
And I've had allergic reactions from eating vegetarian food. So, you know what? Egg is on my face. I'm not vegan.
Oh, well, yeah.
What are
Well,
mini eggs?
Mini eggs are little,
Wait, do you not have mini eggs?
No, they don't
What
really
are
have
mini
Cadbury's. They don't have Cadbury's. They
Yeah.
can't have Cadbury's. So
Oh my
they're little
god.
they're little chocolate eggs, little hard chocolate eggs like of solid chocolate that are about the size of the tip of your thumb. And they've got like a hard candy sugar shell around them that's like powdered sugar on the outside, and you got like a little
do not.
crunch of the sugar before you get into the chocolate, and it's delicious. It's so fucking
do
good.
not.
But no, you don't have Cadbury's. This is why. Is because in
No, we
America, right?
No,
We
we
have
got
Cadbury,
those.
but
You
it's
have a
not that
different
sweet.
kind of Cadbury's. This is the problem, right? So
Yeah.
in
We've got
America,
the cheap version. That's
in
all
America,
right.
your chocolate doesn't contain as much cocoa butter as ours does, because you
course,
have
I know.
your climate is a little bit warmer than ours, and on the long shipping journeys, it would melt, which is why you have a very different tasting chocolate, because you don't have cocoa butter in as high a quantity as we do in the UK,
So
because
they
we have a
just need
colder
to-
climate. So ours melts in the mouth, and yours is nasty as shit.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fun fact. Chocolate is designed to melt at 36 degrees.
Yeah.
I would
Which,
like
I don't know what that is in
chocolate to
Fahrenheit.
be designed to not have milk.
Oh, human body temperature. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is Fahrenheit. Oh,
It's
like,
sorry.
it's like
I realized
98
how
or
I just...
something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
I'm
what
allergic
human
to
body
milk
temperature is
and
Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
melt
sorry
in your
about
mouth.
96.8 degrees
I'm
in
in-
freedom units.
There you go. There you go.
I
There you
miss
go.
guacamole.
Did you just call it
my
freedom
fucking-
units?
Yes, I did.
Freedom units, my
Guacamole
ass.
has milk in it?
No, but it's got avocado, which I'm also allergic to.
Oh, sorry. I see.
You don't
I
like
got
avocado.
confused there.
This
No,
music
I'm
is
just
way
allergic
more
to
intense
half
than
the
it needs to be.
world.
Well,
But
yeah,
you're
I mean,
not
Yeah.
allergic
Do you...
to us.
Yeah.
yeah.
Have I ever sent you my list?
What Ash is what
We should
Ash? God
exchange
damn it!
lists,
What
Mum.
Tats said is accurate. That we are all nuts. So it's a good job that you're not allergic to them, Mars.
Oh, but I am allergic to them. I'm allergic to walnuts and pecans.
Oh, just not peanuts. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like cashews though? Can you eat those?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Okay.
When you're allergic to some nuts, you just
Yeah.
avoid all nuts. And you
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
what you're actually allergic to or not, 'cause it's easier to
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
avoid it as a whole. Unless you
I still
specifically know you're not allergic to something. Like,
I
I know
still
I can eat
put hazelnut
almonds.
in my coffee, and I don't care. I will die for it.
Some hazelnut syrup does not contain hazelnut in, because I can have some hazelnut syrup.
Look,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
just telling you,
that's just it. I think it's fake, but like,
anybody who is actually lactose
ah,
intolerant doesn't care. They'll still eat cheese.
Thank
but
you.
I'm allergic to
I am
milk. It will kill
becoming
me.
I'm becoming lactose intolerant. I'm not allergic to milk like Mars is. I am just intolerant to lactose, so I will fart up a storm if I eat
We have
anything with milk.
I will need
we
an
have a
EpiPen.
ultra pasteurized milk here that's supposed to be easy on people who have lactose
Fairlife.
intolerance.
Yeah, Fairlife. I can drink Fairlife milk.
No,
Can't
I will
eat
not.
any
I will not
anymore.
drink
There's
that
more
brand.
on the list too.
We
I just
have
can't ever remember it all.
So we do have lacto free. There's a brand called Lacto Free, which is where they remove the lactose from the milk. And that can help, but it's not a 100% fix. But it is a milk that has no lactose in it. But then you can also get tablets. You can get like you would take a tablet, and then you could have like a small portion of cheesecake, say, or like take 2 tablets, and then you can have a medium portion. But you just like take it beforehand so that you've
Oh yeah,
got
'cause
the
it breaks it
enzyme in
down
you.
for you.
Yeah, because it's basically a tablet that contains the enzyme, the
Yeah.
lactase. Lactose intolerance is literally just the lack of the enzyme lactase. That's it.
Look, I don't care. I'll still eat cheese
Yeah.
even if I become lactose
Same,
intolerant.
same. So
I ate
I
cheese up
posted.
until it nearly killed me.
I'm doing like a vlog thing where I'm like recording what food I'm having every day that I'm like veggie.
I noticed.
And
I've seen those.
yeah. And today I had some applewood cheese, which is my favorite
Oh,
cheese. It's smoked
so good.
cheddar dusted with paprika, and I fucking adore it. It's so fucking good. But
Yes.
but while I was like crumbling it onto like my stuffed mushrooms and then into my jacket potato, I was like eating just chunks of cheese, just like lobbing them in, and just be like, om. Fucking love that cheese. My god. At Christmas time, I legit just get like the pre-sliced packs and a bunch of rosemary flavored crackers, and I'll just sit there eating nothing but that. And I will fart this place into oblivion, like don't light a match in my presence, kind of thing.
Please don't consume an
Like I
inordinate amount
used
of
to
cheese
eat.
before training.
I
No, no,
used to
no.
eat
I
cheese like
don't do
that
that
and
before
not have a
training.
problem.
I would say though that since I've stopped having as much milk in the morning, I only have it in my coffee now. That's it, and then just like milk chocolate occasionally, and then of course cheese because what else are you gonna have?
Oh yeah, cheese.
And like a bit of butter. I've cut like the amount of butter that I use in half now. So if I put butter in a jacket potato, I put a tiny amount in, not what I used to. I used to have the whole thing like soaked in butter. I fucking love butter. But yeah, no. So I've reduced it by a lot, and then I also have the yogurt in the morning. You recommended like Greek yogurt, so I'm having Greek yogurts.
Yum.
You're welcome.
They are delicious.
Worked
They're
for me because
super thick as well.
I accidentally went vegan and gave myself lactose intolerance, and it was one of the things that helped me recover. So I could at least now have a cow milk coffee and not have an upset stomach.
Do you know what? The stream's been going for nearly 3 hours now. We're quite far over, so I'm going to end the stream.
Party.
But
You're welcome.
GG everybody. Isabel will be back next session. Odin won't be returning until you get to Ox's farm. You now have a map reference for where Ox's farm is. It's in the northwest. It's near a lighthouse. It's near the coast. It's very small. It's not built up. There are no cities nearby. It's isolated and alone. But you don't know what's going to be there when you get there, so you're going to have to do some investigation and plan ahead. You planned ahead last fight when you fought Ox. You planned ahead then. And you nearly managed to die, but you also nearly managed to kill him. So this time, knowing what you're in for, and having Odin there when you go into the fight, you will have some kind of leverage in this fight. But you don't know what he's preparing because he's been silent from the beginning. So
At least we won't be breaking out of a jail.
let's figure out exactly what you are gonna do next session, and yeah, let's see where this big tubular thing goes. But in the meantime, thank you everybody for being here. I'm gonna end the stream now. Love you all.
Secret
tunnel.
And
Yes.
remember to be good to yourselves. And if you can't do that, then at least have fun. Goodbye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.